Sort of. If I have to end up crying again in this game, I'm gonna actually sob. I'm gonna dramatically sob. No, I'm trying to adjust. Ugh. Let me just. Excuse me. We're having some technical difficulties today. Delete it. Yes, I would like to delete that. Thank you. Anyways, um, slay. We're slaying, guys. And by we're slaying, I mean, I am, I am in confusion. Um, now I send that on Instagram for my Instagram pookies. Messages. Waiting for a few people to join because we are literally nobody watching. Okay. I'm gonna say fuck it and start the let's play because I don't know if anybody else is going to join. Uh, So, okay, we're just jumping right into this because, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get anybody else. Okay, investigate Fort the dagger to Fort. If you can use the dagger to knock the doorknob off like I did earlier, on the second thought, I don't think I want to leave you alone like this. I'll be fine. I'll have the gun on my person. I don't want to resort to firing it, but seeing as our situation's becoming more continuous, it may not be a choice. Oh, I felt a shiver go up my spine. Missy was taking the situation much more seriously, with a chilling, unfeeling demeanor. Understood. We'll make haste of our investigation and return promptly. Fort and I stepped out of Cyrus's room, and I walked to the opposite hall, to Art's room. Then Fort struck the doorknob, pulled it back and latch, and opened the door. What's that in the corner? The only thing about Art's room was a weird-looking golf bag. The leather bag was embroidered with the Cappuccino's name. Oh. Oh, this must have belonged to his grandfather. Art must have been reminded of his pastime golfing with him. It must have been distressing to see this upon awakening, to say the least. Fort let out a heavy sigh. 1 second. Sorry, somebody is loudly banging in the hallway outside my apartment, so it's unfortunate, but explains his reaction to Pandora's question. Now knowing that she might be involved, do you think she goaded him on? That would be quite masochistic. Oh my god! Abby, you're here! Okay, you didn't miss too much. Um, so basically, um, what you miss is that Pandora's sibling is Eve, and Say knows Zero. Actually, yeah, Say knows Zero, and I forget his actual name. But, yeah, and there was meant to be, like, 16 students in this class. That's kind of like the rough of what you missed. That seems to be quite misogynistic, wouldn't it? What to be, what benefit, after all, she fell by his hands? That's true. Yeah, so just watch what you missed afterwards. It will make a lot more sense. Short pause. Do you believe the flat of the butterfly wings could cause a hurricane? Huh? A little thing like a butterfly creating a disaster sounds improbable. It's a theory. Minute occurrence within small initial starting conditions can lead to drastic different outcomes. The situation could very well be one of those drastic outcomes. Are you speculating Pandora set this entire scenario off by purposely indicating the first murder? Who can say that that was her intention? And besides, her interactions were never of ill will, were they? She was kind to everyone. And so who's to say perhaps the flap of this butterfly's wings caused the storm that would eventually give away the shining rainbow that will grace our skis? That's a pretty optimistic look. Looking forward to the eventual repose of this nightmare is all we have, isn't it? Eventual repose. I could only hope something like that would free us from trapping of this storm. Though, why should we wait for something minuscule and out of control like the winds of to dictate our fate? I'm keen on taking such matters into my own hands if need be. I'm not sure I would know where to begin with such an endeavor. Well, that's neither here nor there at the moment. Shall we move to Pandora's room? Yeah, let's check it out. We're just breaking and entering, like the girl bosses we are. We left Art's room and visited the living quarters on the other side of the foyer, entering Pandora's room in the same fashion once again. Bart and I came upon yet another nondescript personal room. Only this time there was nothing to be found in her room. Huh. Did Pandora not receive some kind of gift? Perhaps she was involved and there was no need. But Say has one, a creepy one at that. Yes, an ornament skull and bone statuette. The two of us peeked into the dresser and we greeted with nothing but situational, situationary and other wait, what if she was doing what Canon did? Can said she received the instant camera, right? She's been clinging to it basically since the beginning of the whole predicament. That certainly wouldn't be out of the question. Do you recall Pandora might have had the allowance to ground for suspicion? Yeah, that secret note. Oh my god, the secret note. Oh god, we're going back to that. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh boy. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. He showed it to me the night, just before nighttime on day 2. It was, at first I thought something was fishy, but maybe she was hiding something. But, oh my god. I pressed my fingers on my temple. I don't know, Pandora ended up suffering, and the note fell into Laylee's hands. Maybe the secret note was her vexing gift. But if she were some kind of double agent, why would she nonchalantly share the note with me? Who can say? I sighed. The more we knew, the better. Couldn't help but think the opposite. As we dug up information, the more confused I became. I could only hope whatever Laylee, Cannon, and Say found would answer the many questions, but at the same time, I was afraid to uncover more of these secrets. Let's return to Misty with her findings. Our findings! Returning to Cyrus's room once more, Fort and I found Misty in a deep concentration. Welcome back. Did you find anything interesting? Art had his late grandfather's golf club in his room, and Pandora had nothing. Nothing. Echo speculates that perhaps the secret note mentioned in the first trial may be Pandora's room gift, in the same fashion as Cannon's instant camera. The room was empty. She probably kept a note on her person for safekeeping or something, but when she left it in the pantry on the third day, Laylee has been holding on to it since. We'll have to take a closer look at it when we rendezvous with Laylee. Missy returned her intense grower to the mess of documents. Anything new here? A disturbing amount of news, yes. Take a seat. Oh, we're getting lore dumps! Yay! I love this! Flora and I sat in the spare chairs and gave Missy our full attention. She sat in momentary silence and flared gaze transfixed on the folders. Oh, Jesus. I've been reading the history of involvement. The involvement of the ultimate students in killing games, just like this one. Killing games, plural, as in multiple? Yes, I know it's starting to. I'm startling. Man, it's startling to say the least. In that case, that reminds me. In the folder I looked, our game was labeled as Game L. What do you think L means in terms of these multiple games? I believe in the context, L is the Roman numeral for 50. Our game is the 50th game. God damn it! God damn it! We're going back to V3, aren't we? This is V3. This is. Oh my god. This is like 3 games before V3. Okay. Okay. I see how it is. I see how it is. 50 games. Oh, a definitive number to help enumerate how long it has been occurring. Let's see. If 49 games have taken place over a span of approximately 7 days, at most, with no break in between each game, that's 343 days. That's almost a year's worth of this hell. I don't understand. I believe that tracks. I remember hearing about this project sometime late in my junior year. Why so many games, if you may ask? These games were implemented with Ultimate Students in mind. Ultimate Students would be the prime subjects for righteous tests and scenarios involving battling to the best of their abilities. Yeah, no, I was thinking that. I was definitely thinking that. Um, but I also want to add the dead characters to, Risky Rehab. The issue we'd have to have the sprites redrawn. And I'm not sure if you noticed the server, but nobody's been responding to me. So, like, I'm gonna need to hire, like, I feel like I might need to hire a new team, which I'm not very fond of doing. So, we're gonna have to keep an eye out for artists. To overcome other Ultimate students and come up on top, to the best of the best, these experiments were used to determine who could carry the future. The Preservation Project and its killing games were one and the same. It seems we aren't just one in the million. We aren't just one in a million occurrence. But why? My voice cracked. So this place is some kind of petri dish for creating an ultimate student that has no moral regard for what they're doing. The Preservation Project have washed their hands of their concerns with mortality. It's clear in this documented history. What had fabricated, all fake ones, to stroke fear? It's very possible. Fear is a powerful tactic. Cyrus himself, after knowing all this, had very little room to operate. He was under a considerable amount of pressure, and eventually collapsed. I was shaking. Comprehension of the situation was the last thing on my mind. Fear chilled me to the bone. Missy, aren't you afraid at all? I'm mortified, however. Knowing the darkness that lurks behind malicious people's intentions is nothing new to me. Calling the individual person simply a constituent to strip humanity is amassing voting numbers. It's nothing but numbers. We play with live ammo. A game toying with the livelihood of widely talented students, enabling a maddening battle royale to create a singular, albeit misdirected toward towering ultimate students. Misty exhaled sharply. This must end now. Misty stormed out of the room. Missy! Fort and I chased after her. Oh god. Missy stored arms at the elevator. She was embroiled in thought. Her brow knit, her posture imposing. Are you in full possession of your faculties? You aren't one to charge forward you aren't one to charge forward like so. I hate to say that I only have a hunch. I have little to rely on, but a gut feeling lately, and I have nothing but instinct to justify acting upon them. I have nothing except she held up the photograph and pinned it to the wall with a dagger. Nothing but vengeance for bringing this establishment to the ground and a burning hell for all the suffering it's put us through. It was so misguided, so blindsided for thinking I wanted to be a part of this preservation project. I've been played for a fool. Missy, none of us could have known this would be our fate. It's possible that two conspirators must have known something from the start. Rather than confront the one remaining, we must attack the source. The elevator chimed and Misty stepped in. We're going to the courtroom. Oh my. She is popping and locking. No, she's stabbing and shooting. Forget popping and locking. She is stabbing and shooting. She's a bitch. She's a boss. She's a bitch and a boss, and she shines like gloss. But the gloss is blood. She's popping and locking, but instead of popping and locking, it's stabbing and shooting. Only a monotonous elevator hum filled our ears as we traveled to the courtroom floor. We entered the dark, circular room once more, this time without explicit orders to determine a culprit. It was quiet, the windows were pitch black. Zero was nowhere to be found. Misty swept in, looking for any indicator of the announcement's holographic representation. Fort and I filtered into the empty room aimlessly. I can't see a thing through these windows. It should be early afternoon, but now shouldn't it? Perhaps there are shutters covering the windows. If I recall correctly, they close after a trial. Fort ran his hands across the wall, feeling the crease that lined the foundation, seeming running in malicious ranks and files. Urk! Fort tried prying one of the sides of the wall open with no avail. He knocked on the wall, resulting in an echo bouncing beyond the barrier. There's an empty space beyond this wall. It probably only opens with when a student is being executed. You think Zero's operator is hiding where executions take place? I gulped. It was not a sight I wanted to think about. Humph. I guess it would have been too easy to visit the courtroom after Zero encouraged us to investigate this area. Missy stepped out from the elevator again. The infirmary has nothing of note either. Missy circled the courtroom stands once before settling in her indicated place. She leaned back and crossed her arms. A tense expression fainted from her face. Even if we found Zero, how are you going to get any information out of him? He must have known we broke into Cyrus's room, so he might be even more cautious. If I can get him to start talking, we're only halfway there. It's about running a conversation long to long to allow us an opening, whether it's a contraction or unknown fact. The more he talks, the faster his options will diminish. That said, we've entered the most damning areas with little to show for. I feel as though we've hit a dead end. It's possible Laylee, Cannon, and Say have better luck on finding information in their search. We can only hope they turn up with something of note. The three of us stepped in a long, contemplative silence. No, really, like, pop it open! You had no issue popping and locking. Pop the fucking lock. I sighed thinking about meeting up with the others, wondering if they were just as luckless as we were in finding anything of use. Thought about Cannon and remembered. Missy, do you happen to have Cannon's photo? The one from last night. I know I said I didn't want it, but oh, certainly. I didn't have time to patch it together, though. Missy drew two halves of the photo from her inner coat pocket. I landed to house and gazed up at a moment in time that it was quickly dashed. That's okay. I awkwardly stored the soft looks at Fort and Misty. They seemed to understand that I felt remorseful for what I had done. I want to return it. Oh no. A body has been discovered in the trophy room. What? I'm sorry, what? No. Oh dear. Quickly! We rushed back into the elevator, hurriedly clicking the button for the foyer. The foyer light chimed. Oh god. Who? It's gonna be Laylee, isn't it? Oh! We did it! We failed to save her! We failed to save her! Damn it! We were so close! We were so close yet so far! So I wonder if, depending on what group we went with, would depend on... I... Fused. Okay, wait. I want to check the wiki. Um... Danganronpa Lapse. Canon. Okay, wait. So there's two endings. There's two endings. We went. Okay, that makes sense. We went on the wrong ending. We went onto the wrong ending. That's why. I thought she was very deep in the back of Cannon's lifeless body. Blood stained the polished floors. The fresh liquid reflected upon the glossy surface, creating a haunting glow in the middle of the foyer. Cannon. Damn it. Missy and Fort bolted out of the lift when I remained frozen in the elevator cab. A sickening metallic odor filled the sense, and I felt cold sweat from my brow. Misty and Fort were huddled in the corner over Cannon's body, but it was clearly no use. She was gone. Okay, so there's two endings to this chapter. There's this version, and there's the version if we go with Laylee. So we're gonna play both. But the body discovery announcement, it was said that it was in the trophy room. Does that mean the announcement wrong for Laylee? What's stayed behind all of this? Above Missy and Fort's clamoring, I heard a strange sound. Drive possessed me. Missy, Fort! As the forest chandelier came crashing down on Missy and Fort. What? What the fuck is happening? I don't understand. What the fuck? I'm out of shock. Live again. Fucking shit. What? You can fuck me anytime.
No, we're right. Fuck, you're like Eric. I hate you. I hate you and Eric. You guys are always fucking busy. Fuck you.
I can call as soon. Just watch the stream, and I can call after the stream. I was going to call you last night, but I completely passed out. Because something happened last. I'll explain everything later, but something like serious happened last night. Say hi to the stream.
I'm tired as fuck.
Say hi to the stream.
No.
Well, he doesn't want to say hi to the stream, boys and girls, and others. Okay, well, I will call you.
You just say boys and girls as if there aren't more? Wow.
I said boys and girls and others.
No, you do.
Yeah, I did.
Kind of clean it up. Uh-huh.
Okay, anyways, I'll call you. I'll call you later, Sam. Okay.
Yep.
I'll call you later. Bye. What's happening anymore? They were completely crushed by the chandelier, their bodies lost under the tons of shard glass. I could hardly muster the sound. I was shell-shocked. Glass and blood littered the floor before me. The glistening liquid reflected on the marble floor doubled in terror of my mortified visage. The nightshade sight brought me to a tumbling knees, dread oozing through every part of my body. My breath was failing out of places. My vision became blurred and red from panic. The elevator doors came to an automatic close to hide the sight of three friends being brutally killed. Uh, a hand stopped the door. Did we just kill? A sharp impact compromised my bones, cracking creaked through my system into blazing pain. Ack. Something was sticking out of my shoulder. It looked like a bolt. Uh, my heart from pain, the chill from terror. I felt heavy and weak. I couldn't lift my eyes. See who had attacked me. Say, what did you do? It has to be Say. It was the hands. My whole body crumpled without fighting. My head knocked onto the floor, causing me to see stars and... What the fuck? What the fuck? It's crazy. Nothing. I did it, right? That voice. I followed the rules of the stupid game, so please get me out of here. The ultimate prize is freedom, right? It's Say. Aki, please. I know it's your voice, so listen to mine. Help me. The ultimate prize? Zero's voice. You don't want the prize. Zero's voice is weird again. No, killing isn't the answer. What? After Say's remorseful cry, one could only hear a pin drop. I felt my heart struggle and the adrenaline rose. Killing isn't the answer. Then what were we doing here? This is wrong. It's all wrong. What? What was that? Come on, I'm being very generous right now. You don't want the opportunity to go to waste, do you? Wahahaha, time's a wasting. I don't understand. What? I feel like it's an important choice. Perhaps I should think carefully. Well, I would join this group again, but we already know what's going to happen there, so... I felt a sense of deja vu. The announcement urging us to split up, the importance of the decision. But everyone was alive? Did those horrible things actually happen, or did I imagine it? Hey, come on, it's not that hard of a decision. Echo, we need to get moving. Ah, yes. What? Don't understand! My brain is not processing anything! Make it make sense, please! My brain! Also, so I low-key got spoiled because I wanted to see if this was the right ending, because I know there's a bad ending, but I thought the bad ending was from last chapter. So it is confirmed that lives. One of the characters lives. The character I searched up lives. Dot dot dot. I couldn't bring to understand what happened when I went to Missing Fort. Regardless, I didn't want to experience whatever that was again. Instead, I chose to go with Laylee and Cannon. I'll go with Laylee and Cannon. It was decided. I joined Laylee and Cannon near the foyer doors, seeing Misty and Fort on the opposite side of the center glass table. God damn it, that means one of them's gonna die. I'm calling it. It's gonna be Misty or Fort. I swear to God. I swear to God, we're gonna lose Misty or Fort. Then that's that. We'll investigate to our full abilities and rendezvous here after 4 p.m. Is that alright with you, Laylee? Yes, ma'am. Laylee had already begun to walking past the doors before she asked. Cannon silently matched his pace, and I hastened to keep up. I don't want both to die! Misty better fucking live! I don't want Misty to die! We swept through the doorway into the darkness. But what was going on? I rubbed my shoulder, reaching for the distant pain that haunted only my memories. I glanced back at the other group. Missy gave a small parting wave before turning down the hallway to her investigation with Fort and say, "It's like nothing happened." I can only hope nothing awful would happen here. What the fuck is happening, man? I don't understand. Really, I'm not processing. My eyes adjusted to the dim lighting as we were quickly met with the stairs that tumbled down a dark lane. Not a single word was exchanged between the three of us as we trudged down the steps, further away from the foyer's glittering hall. An anxious feeling rose in my stomach as I glanced back at the dying light. The other group was already out of sight. After some time, the foreign door beneath us revealed itself to us to be the bottom of the stairs. The hidden floor we gained access to stood in the dark contrast of the previous floors. The lighting was dim, the floor dark and cold, meaning cool. Regardless, it remained decorated with the delicate gold furnishings and familiar service kiosk. The elevator hall divided the rooms in two equal halves, similarly to the main floor. Hey, looks like we can take this elevator back up to the main wing, huh? Probably, but what's the use of going back now? Well, we made a decision to split up and we need to investigate. Look for an exit. Do you really, did that really need to be said? Tisk. Laylee instructed the two of us, but before anyone could get very far, we could hear the unfortunate now familiar, You all decided to split up, huh? Blah, blah, blah. We already went through this. Anyways, I have blah, 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 blah. Not for everyone, mind you. Cannon and Missy. At this point, whatever you do is meaningless. Cannon hurried to put herself between Laylee and the chaos. Not so fast. There's no way I'm letting you see whatever this messed up shit is. How do we even know it's going to be bad? Everything in this place is nothing but bad, genius. What makes you think this is any of your business anyway? Laylee rolled his eyes and left Cannon to relative peace, going about his way to search for an exit. I stood in curiosity at the kiosk printed a small sheet, blank face up. Cannon ripped the sheet from the receiver, folded it in her fist, and stuffed it in her pocket without a glance. It won't fall. I won't fall for any motives if I don't look at the things Zero's trying to tease me with, right? I guess so. If it was anything like Missy's motive, it was likely to be just as disturbing. Let's see. Here's a map of the current floor. Doesn't look like there's much here. Two long halls prepare each other on the opposite side of the room, toward the back, opposite of the stairs. There's two large rooms, one of the trophy room and the other. The map of the floor seems to looks the same as the blueprints I saw when with the scene for it, the other room was redacted. I wonder what the other room is. It doesn't show to be on the kiosk mask. Even so, we're here anyway, so we should just come to visit the room itself and we'll see what it is. I'm betting it's the mastermind room. We stepped away from the kiosk to explore the underground floor. I love how we have V3 music. As we passed the halls, I took a peek in. We listened to as multi-purpose event halls, decorated settings for large gatherings. The large rooms were sparsely decorated with numbers and tables and chairs and not much else. The event hall was pretty, but like much of the building, it lacked any sort of quality of life. Ken and I wandered about, but not for very long. Nothing glaring strange caught our attention. It was as if this place was never meant to be anything more than recreational. We entered, I mean, The entire time we explored, Cannon kept a safe distance from me, as I pondered what was the best time to make amends. Just apologize! Fuck! I ship Cannon and, Echo as well, not gonna lie. Laylee was waiting back for us where we started. About time you lot caught up. What did you expect? You didn't demand we travel glued at the hip. Hey now. The two glared at each other. The palpable tension burned in the air. Amen. Ahem. So, did you find any signs of an exit? No, the hallway behind me just goes to the shared elevator, not an exit in sight. Abby X Cannon real. Honestly, I kind of would like to see like Cannon and Hiyoko interact. I feel like that would be like really cute. Or Cannon and Maki duo. But I haven't looked in either of these rooms yet. The rooms is listed as a trophy room and the other is strangely redacted. Then let's see. Let's check out the redacted one. My interest is piked. The three of us approached the unlisted room. The metal nameplate on the door was scratched out. The laser engravings lost underneath the messy hacking. Of course, the name is conveniently scratched away. Laylee rattled the doorknob. It was locked tight. Our entry blocked by active keypad. See? Nothing but bad. The keypad light indicator was red, waiting for 6 digital code to unlock the door. Wait, 6 digits. I stared at the keypad for a moment, thought back to the strange experience I had not long ago. The floor plan book list listed 5 floors our game was meant to take place in. The details of the 5th floor, our current floor, was torn out. Yet the booklet back panel, there was writing pressed on it, writing of 251110. What? The code. I repeat, what? Should I try it? It's not like we have have any other leads. Are you nuts? No. Why not? Echo, you say you're not involved, but knowing the code to a keypad on the floor we've never been to is pushing it, don't you think? This has to be some kind of trick. You're setting us up for failure in that room. No. I don't know how to explain it. I just know. I have this strange memory. When our group was splitting up, I went with Missy and Fort first, and we went to Cyrus's room. And that was where I saw 6 digits. Yeah, right. The awful convenient information, don't you think? We only split up once. What did you purposely find the time and means to do such a thing? I wish I could tell you, but not now. What happened earlier doesn't make a sense to me neither. There was a body discovery announcement, and I think it was you. Stop. Laylee's voice cut through the air. Echo, I just don't understand you. First you turn everyone against Art, then you do everything to deny Ashley's actions against Cyrus. And now you miraculously know the code to the door we've never seen. Just what on earth are you up to? Give me a reason to believe you're not involved. What's stopping me from believing you're not a part of the act? From not having any remarkable talent to sabotaging the trials at every which way? Hang on. That's enough. You really think I want this? Look, I'm just as frustrated as you are. It was never my intention to turn anyone against art. The circumstances we were in demanded a vote to be casted. At least everyone suffered the consequences. You really believe I'm an implicate factor in this game? Don't think for a second. Don't think for a second I wanted any of this to happen. I'm still at a complete loss of how I'm even here to begin with. You really think I wanted my best friend to go through the emotional turmoil she went through when she found out I was in this game? You think I wanted her to die protecting me? We're all in pain, and suffering isn't a competition. So I'm sorry you don't have the answers. I'm sorry I don't have have answers to any of your questions, but I'm doing my best to combat these desperate feelings. After the second trial, I saw how hurt everyone left. Not just for my sake, but because we've just found ourselves in something horrible and inescapable. I never asked for this, the ultimate student nonsense. And maybe it was selfish to want to protect Ashley, but what did you expect? You want to protect Art, didn't you? I. Arguing like this isn't going to solve anything. I don't know if the code will work, much less, know what's in the room to begin with. I don't expect you to trust me with it, but the only thing we have at the moment. Lily let out a defeated sigh. I am sorry too. It's just I'm trying to find a reason why the only people who gave me this time of day had to leave so quickly. His voice dropped to a low whisper. I feel like I let Art down, messed up big time. He was misled by me, thinking Pandora was suspicious. It's my fault, huh? But it was no different for me. He was trapped in the impression that his friend's downfall was direct consequence of his actions. No, it's not as simple as that. No one is singularly at fault. I won't speak on behalf of Art, but given the threat of danger, I'm sure he just wanted to keep everyone safe. None of us could have known we would end up in this scenario, and Art, least of all, would truly want to cause harm. Imagine Art's the mastermind just like out of nowhere. Hi y'all, it's me, I'm the mastermind, hello! I will actually scream. He strangled Pandora though. I know. There's no denying that. He did what he thought was right to try and end the game. It's hard to say what's right and wrong. We can only move forward with the best judgment learned from what we experienced. We have to at least, try at least, right? I'm tired, Echo. I can't sleep. Whether we try to be cautious or take the risk and test the rules, the situation ends up being the same. We're still trapped. Still trapped and doomed to the responsibilities of our past actions. We can't change anything that has happened. Oh my god, I fuck with the idea of Mastermind Pandora. Ken stared at the floor absently. Yeah, but there's nothing left to try but this. I just hope you can trust me on this. Alright, try the code. I nodded and approached the keypad. Wait, what was the code again? Oh, fuck, what was the code? What was the code? Uh... Thank you. 2511110. What? What the fuck happened? The keypad accepted the code and the sound of the latch release clicked out. It worked. Another crackling error instrumented me as I gasped the door handle. Shoot, did Zero catch us in the act? My heart was racing. I didn't accidentally set something off. I paused as the three of us stood with bated breath. Hey, just checking in with you all. Having fun exploring the new digs? I bet you are. I have two more little gifts for you folks. Fort and Say. Dear Shyamalan, for the former and for the latter. Nothing. You're kind of insignificant. So such a gift suits the person, yeah? Wahaha. Enjoy the weird tune if you can. It's all German, so it's nonsense to me. Yeah, I love this song! It's such a bop! Um, what the fuck is happening? Zero's voice dropped out and the tune carried on. A gentle humming piano accompanying with the droning, soft vocals. I couldn't comprehend what was happening, said, but the atmosphere the song created was unnerving. Oh, Zero didn't say anything about us entering this room. That said, neither Laylee and I were recipients of Zero's gift. That's a good thing. Come on, Echo. Let's see what's in there already. Oh, right. Shaking the thought, I pushed the door open with a soft creak. It's gonna be Zero, isn't it? Or we're gonna get like a random new student. Oh my god. No, no, we're in a virtual world, aren't we? This is virtual. It's all virtual. It wasn't real. Upon shutting the door, the ominous song ceased to its croning with the room. We found ourselves in a hexagon, eerie room with full-length capsule-like objects creating the centerpiece. Standing workstation lined the walls, corresponding the capsule objects on each wall. Miscasually monitors and controls filled each section. We're really in Danganronpa 2 and another 2 all over again. What is this place? We stepped further in, the footsteps echoing through the chamber. If I had to guess, considering our killing game scenario, one could say there ought to be a cold room to store bodies. Oh wait, we're in the morgue. You think this is where they are? Well, it makes sense that this place was hidden behind layers of precautionary security. Though it's not very convenient design, if that's the case. I hitched cautiously toward the large capsules. There was a small display screen with a foot capsule that read "stable" in a bright green letters. Spotting a small viewing window and the head of the capsule, I made my way over, peeking in. Oh my god! It is! They are! Oh my god, they're capsules! Gasp. I staggered back to at the site. I recall seeing this person's visage when I was with Misty and Fort. What is it? Laley ran to the window. Standing at the opposite side of me, his eyes widened. Is that Pandora? This document says otherwise. Same last name, though. Cannon was holding a medical chart with the hanging near stable indicator. It's her. My voice was barely a whisper. I stared at her, my vision twisted as I felt my heart starting to race. The other announcer for it had discovered, along with Zero's true identity. The other announcer behind the killing game was Fort, in front of me, behind, was in front of me. Laley paused and took a closer look at the person's capsule. He took out the secret note he had been holding onto the inspector and further. Without a word, he started unlatching the capsule. What are you doing? Are you going to take that person out of the capsule? It's the person behind Eve. There's a pin in her shaw that looks just like Eve, the announcer symbol, and the symbol on the secret note. She could be dangerous. What if she's attacking or something? Whatever. There's three of us and only one of her. Stay alert. The final latch clicked and the cold air rushed from the containment unit. We watched in awe as the glass automatically rose. She looked as if she were asleep. A steady breathing, noticeable rise and fall in her chest indicated her shallow breath. Then, her eyelids twitched. Ow. Her voice was hoarse but familiar. The familiarly disemboweled voice of Eve was now given a definitive face. She reached out, but she couldn't do anything. Laylee stopped her. Hey, what are you doing? Please, I can't bear being in be in there a second longer. She murmured wearily as she struggled with enormous effort to pull herself up. Come on, Laylee, give her a hand. Laylee grumbled in dissatisfaction, but helped anyways, giving Ede out of her containment. She crumpled to the floor, continuously fatigued. Are you okay? I'm She could hardly shake out a response. Then I remembered. Here, if you're hungry. I reached in my pocket and offered her the jam damage I saved earlier. She generously accepted it, taking only a few bites before stopping altogether. Sniff, oh, Pandora, what have I done to you? A blank, somber stare glazed over her tearful eyes. You're Gia Espray, right? How do you know? I don't know how to explain. I still don't know how to reasonably describe the strange occurrence I experienced earlier that caused me to know things I shouldn't. Wait, who is this? It's okay. As Echo says, I'm Gay X-Ray, Pandora's twin sister. I couldn't save her. Oh, Gaia! I love you! I love you! Keep Pandora alive for me! Is she meant to be like the Monami? Twin sister. That explains the sprinkling similarity to Pandora. Save her. Doesn't that mean this note was from you to attempt to contact her? What's your role in the environment in this game? Hang on. You wanted to save her. I thought since you're a part of the game that, I don't know, you're working against us. The heavy sigh, Gaia sat herself up against the base of the Kremen unit. You have a lot of questions. I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. Welcome to the testing chambers. It's a pleasure to meet you all, Echo, Laylee, and Cannon. We gave Gia some time to regain her strength, and she cautiously savored the pastry I'd given her. She sat herself in a chair at the small workstation as we idly waited. Laylee was noticeably impatient, Cannon still and unreadable. So, who are you in context of this game? Unlike Zero, who controls many aspects of the killing game, I'm just an overseer. We're able to oversee the entire game from our captivity. Whoever is placed in one of these incubators has the conscious removed from their has their consciousness removed from the body and incorporated into the technology of the facility. I was never originally part of this, but seeing as the containment unit has a sinuous framework into the collecting data from our consciousness and bias philology, I was able to wedge my way through the basic fractions, but I'm concerned it was Zero's request to open the foyer doors. I think he wanted you to find me and this room. I'm afraid he has something in store for me. She shuddered at the thought. It was Gia. If what Gia said was true, she wasn't. Even she wasn't safe. Is this a farce? A bunch of lies to make us believe you're not a threat? I'm sorry, I cannot provide more detail to convince you. You'll just have to take my word for it. In that case, where's Zero? His body's in the other it's in one of the other units. However, he's in much worse condition. Gaia pointed at the one other unit out the opposite side of the hexagonal centerpiece. Bailey and I walked over to the unit, and the screen lit critical in red. As she said, the vestige of Miro was in the unit, but his hair and clothing were different. Just like the profile of Akihiko. It's him. Akihiko Quartz, otherwise known as the Ultimate Radio Host. Zero, the Despair program, infected version of Akihiko, was control over malicious threats. I seized control over general facilities such as the infirmary in an attempt to contact with participants. That note was Pandora's room gift. I composed the note from Pandora and whoever could recognize the other emblem. However, I could recognize whoever could recognize Zero's, or rather Akio Korn's emblem, but I haven't had any luck. I am not sure Pandora figured it out either. Gaia doesn't know who the other insider is. Say's profile was attached with Akio's after all. Wait a minute. I heard Cannon's hush muttering. Well, what are you waiting for? Huh? Why don't we just release him from the unit and be done with this game? That is not advised. This is just Akio's body. The one operating the game is Zero, a forked consciousness of Akihiko that's been merged with a despair program. I don't know how Akihiko's real consciousness is faring. I worry he's too far gone. If we release him, its possible zero could malfunction and could also kill the host's consciousness. So what? A small price to pay for the hell he's putting us through. No, please, it's not him. It's the fault of the despair program, the preservation project, the ultimate prize. Hayes' eyes were dark. All this, charade conducted with appealing precaution for the purpose of the ultimate prize, a complete and utter hoax. It's a hoax? I recall I heard earlier before I found myself back on the split group decision. The ultimate prize is freedom, right? The ultimate prize. You don't want it. What is the ultimate prize? Not a second after my hush question, a booming clunk sound through the halls. The lights went out. No! Darkness, Laylee gift direct is fear from you. I mean, it's fear for you. Only mutter was the left in the darkness. The ominously short announcement cut out, and we were left to wallow in the void. The room was blanketed black velvet. I couldn't see my own hand in front of my face. How is anyone meant to see anything in this darkness, let alone do something as calculated as murder? Calm yourselves. He would have cut all the power in his former body is still in the containment unit. Are you sure? Wait, that aside, Laylee, Cannon, are you okay? There's no response from either one of them. However, I heard sharp, haggard breaths beside me. Ack. That sounded like he was having a fit. His voice was tight. Laylee, are you okay? It's dark. I can't. Hang in there. Flash briefly bled throughout the darkness. My eyes adjusted to the brightness. I could see the silhouettes of Gay standing some feet away from me, holding a light. This should help. A flashlight and an emergency kit below my capsule. Yes, thank you. She's so sweet! Welcome back, Pandora! Welcome back! Not the real Pandora, but close enough! Close enough! No, I love... Oh my god, this game's taking me through a loop. I took the flashlight and directed the beam toward the hall, allowing the light to bounce and disperse itself for a little more illumination. Come on, deep breaths. His breaths were broken, but he was making an effort to control his breathing. I tried to confront him, rubbing his trembling back as he tried to steady himself. As Gia and I gave Laylee time to recuperate, I noticed something strange. Wait, where's Cannon? Cannon! I called out to her, but no response. Did she get lost? Damn it, she has been up to no good. As much as I couldn't help but jump to the same conclusion, I felt there had to be another reason for her disappearance. Don't say that. As much as we hated to see the truth of the first trial, Cannon still helped us. And she even gave me the group photo she took from Ash's trial. She probably went to go look for the other three. How could she possibly see in this pitch darkness? Why didn't she just sit still and do nothing like she always does? I can't say. I just hope she doesn't do anything outrageous. Sure, but there's no telling what could happen to her, though. Erk. Oh no. A body has been discovered on the trial grounds. What? I'm sorry, a what now? Just as Zero said, the lights returned and the announcement of the body discovery. You'll be granted a period of time to investigate, and then we will begin our class trial. No way. We didn't want to believe it, but the game carried on to take another victim. I gulped. Gia, do you know who was killed? Gia shifted nervously. I cannot see anymore. After being removed from the containment unit, I can only do as much as you participants can. That is, until I gain control from the systems here. Gia quickly made herself busy at the workstation, familiarizing herself with the programs once more. This can't be happening. So we have to go up there. I don't know what we'll find, but another death. What else could occur in this damn place? I didn't care for the indignation of his tone, but Laylee was right. At this point, it would be foolish to expirate anything less than death. However, I just wanted to know whoever remained was still safe. Let's go. We should try to rendezvous with whoever is left. What about her? We can't trust her. She doesn't try anything. Can we trust her that she isn't going to try to do anything funny? Gail was deep in thought. Her fixation fixed on the workstation near zeros. Go ahead. I'll be investigating this group for some time. There's still much to learn from here. I'll do what I can to shore up information. Don't worry about me. I'll be on my own, but I know better than to let my guard down. Gio was focused on the workstation data, filling the monitors with lines and lines of who knows what. I didn't seem like she would be moving soon, so Laylee and I left her to her work. Okay, be careful. Thank you. Oh, I really hope she lives. I like her. Laylee and I darted out of the testing chambers, making haste for the elevator. Come on, what is it? The elevator isn't working. I can't wait for. I mean, we can't wait away from the elevator. We just head up the stairs. Hurry! And she better not be convening with Zero after all. Laylee growled to himself, but I didn't reply. It was impossible for me to say whether or not Gio was truly on her side or not. After freeing her from captivity, I had a feeling she wasn't hostile. I sighed regardless. There was more intimacy pressing matters, immediately pressing matters to attend to. Making an about face, we rushed through the hall and back up the stairs. Returning to the floor, we met with a troubling sight. No! God fucking damn it! We lost Missy! Missy! We closed the door, and the first thing I noticed was a large splash in the cut into her chest. Her dropping body was held upright against the elevator door, jabbed between the elevator cab and foyer, preventing the doors from shutting. Shit. We rushed her to her side, maintaining cautious distance from her unmoving body. We reached for her glasses, nose, her bracelet. Laylee, before we jump to any conclusions, there was concern, of course, but I drew Laylee's attention to her wrist. The small bracelet was still rose gold. Phew. She's not the victim, but what happened to her? And why did her body discovery announcement go off? She's alive, right? Get her up and let's find out. Laylee knelt down and tried to wake her from whatever daze she was in as I returned her glasses. Her eyes fluttered and she groaned, reaching toward a deep cut in her chest. Missy. Oh, Echo and Laylee. Guys, come with me. Her eyes snapped open and she leapt into the elevator, clicking the button to the trial ground. She's still alive! Her queen's still alive! She can still shoot and stab, guys! She can still shoot and stab! We gave chase and rumbled to the requested floor. Upon there, we met with another gruesome encounter. Four? Knew it! I knew- Wait, what? Ah. Forrest's body was covered in blood and stained with liquid as well. She was sitting on the floor in an emotional state, staring at him. She said nothing as the three of us surrounded Ford's body. His bracelet was tinged with a sickening bright pink color that indicated his death status, as if the pools of blood didn't indicate it was clearly enough. What the hell happened? When we split up? The astonishment painted Missy's face as she took in the scenery. We whipped around at the gaze of the most damning person, the one drenched in blood. What? Say detached expression told us nothing, or perhaps everything. I'm sorry, I have no idea what happened. You better not be lying. I'm not. Ugh. She flinched, horrendously tried to cover her wound. As I investigated as you wish, I won't stop you. I need to clean this up. Misty trotted through the elevator into the infirmary on the other side, leaving us with the victim and Say. Care to explain anything? Care to share anything, say? I didn't think so. This is a mess. No kidding. This is really up for us to investigate. We were just about, we were just about the furthest away from, the crime. How should we begin to interfere with what occurred on the fourth floor above? It's only up to us. Don't look like, does it look like Say or Missy are going to fess up? They're covered in blood. Yeah, you're right. At the very least, we should, we were together with Gia, so that solidifies our alibi somewhat. Having said that, Cannon was nowhere to be found. Could it be? Let's go, let's get to it. Oh, fuck. Say Kono. Say was motionless and expressionless. She didn't dare look at look at anything except for the body that lay before her. I didn't know where to begin with her, didn't know where to begin questioning her. I didn't want to suspect her, but it was difficult to think otherwise. I didn't want to make an attempt in hiding her involvement either. I stand for a moment before giving up entirely. So what's the big idea, Say? Saying nothing just makes you more suspicious, you know. Well, it certainly doesn't make her any less suspicious either. But blood makes a compelling case in favor of suspicion of murder. Thanks for nothing. Is that really all we have to go off of? Wait, okay. Oh, so his... Behind Fort's head was a sizable pool of blood. It's possible he fell backward and at the back of his head split at the impact. The thought was upsetting. The dagger. It's always Missy's dagger. Fort's body was laying face up. A familiar dagger struck in the abdomen. That's Darling's dagger. If the scenario were anything like the scenario when I went with Missy to investigate, I could only assume the dagger came from her possession. But why did Missy herself suffer a huge slash? Abdomen wounds. Oh, he was stabbed like 4 times. I think he was stabbed multiple times before the culprit plunged the dagger firmly in one spot. Surrounding the dagger struck in the body, Fort had several tears tears in his shirt, exposing the laceration in his abdomen underneath. The lacerations were noticeably clustered around the abdomen area. Is there anything else to go off? Any thoughts? Poof. Just one, and that Say's the culprit. Seems plainly clear enough, but does that seem like something she would do? Well, who knows? It's likely that while the other group was investigating, something occurred that provoked her. Oh, I figured you know a little more about her since you two've been talking lately. It's something like that. She doesn't talk much. I usually just think out loud to her, as she knows she might. As for how she might behave, I can't put a pin on her. So excluding the obvious potential culprit, I'm up a creek. It was only understandable that both of us were stumped. We'll see what changes when Cannon shows up, dead or alive, that is. No, don't put that out there. Cannon, please show up. The scene was gruesome. Despite that, there didn't seem to be much of note. Did you find anything? Or to say I have half of an idea of what happened would be a stretch. There's very little to draw conclusion from, well, except for Laylee and I looked at Say. Fort's body, Say's bloodied state from the essential locked room. It could be more straightforward. I can't believe there is a victim. I mean, there's even a victim in the report. Maybe if we return to the foyer, we'll find one printed from the kiosk. I'd like to see the victim report as well. I'm just pleased to say that I'm unaware of what happened here. As you return to the trial grounds from the infirmary, a gauze dressing covering the inflicted wound. As Missy scanned the body scene once more, her downcast gaze paused to meet Say's. Say, why don't you get cleaned up? You're being awfully casual with the culprit. As he didn't respond, she offered her hand to Say, who swiftly reached up and received it. The two of them left the crime scene without a word. Uh, were we supposed to stalk them? Well, it's not like they'd get very far. I don't even know where to start with how strange this all is. Let's just get down with the foyer and find the victim report. There's no use standing around the dead bodies. Zero probably has to clean this place up before the trial anyway. I nodded. Laylee stared toward the elevator, and I glanced at Fort's body one last time. Imagine we were just like doing a class trial, and there's the corpse right there. Like, yes, wanna tell us who killed you? No, okay. I mean, that would be like mighty convenient though. Like, imagine you were able to like do the class trial with the like victim there, so you continue like searching the body. That would be cool. That would be a cool concept. We took in the elevator down to the forest once more. Arriving at the foyer, Laylee went straight up to the main kiosk. I stepped out to follow, but stopped at a familiar sight. A familiar photograph of Darling was on the floor. I had a small puncture at the top of it. Huh, I've seen this before. It was the same photographer that Missy received for a special gift, but this time I wasn't with her when she received it. However, I noticed the wall near the elevator had similarly small puncture that matched the photograph. Could it be the two punctures in the wall and the photograph could be inactive of when Missy pinned the photo to the wall with Darling's dagger the last time? But if the photo was on the floor, a puncture in the wall, and the dagger in the different place, someone must have taken the dagger out of the wall. What did it mean, if it meant anything at all? Hey, Echo, the victim report is over here. Ah, sorry, coming. I hustled over to Laylee as he waved the postal card in the postcard size big sheet. The victim's body was discovered on the trial grounds. The estimated time of death was 13:45. What is that? What, is that it? You're telling me this is completely useless. It doesn't even say the cause of death. Yeah, it's dodgy. I wonder if Gia had something to do with manipulating the report. I doubt it. You think she had something to do with it? Yeah, I'm not ruling out the possibility. While Gia allegedly lost her oversee abilities, it might be possible she had capability of manipulating the reports from the workstation. I grumbled the thought of another suspicious act. Oh, that reminds me, Cannon is still absent. I hope she's okay. She must be. If she were dead, another victim report would have turned up. That's not very comforting. After our brief discussion about the victim report, Missy and Say emerged from the living quarters, meeting us up at the foyer. Say's expression remained as somber as before. Missy's eyes were shifting with unease. The two of them might have cleaned up the mess at the scene before, but whatever was going through their minds continued their darken their face. This trial might start any minute. Let us see our time wisely and get the information out of those two. Let's get the suspicious one out of the way. Say, are you okay? Did you get hurt or anything? No, I'm fine. You're fine? She nodded. That's good to hear. Why? Do you care? Well, you're safe. That's always good news. She's so fucking sus. Wait, there was a symbol on it? So she came out of that mess completely unscathed, unlike Misty, who received a nasty scar. Unlike Cannon, who was completely missing. What's going on? Do you have something to say about being at the crime scene? No. It should be crystal clear what happened. It should be crystal clear what happened there. We say that, but Say closed her eyes and turned away, ending the conversation promptly. Oh my god. She did it. She fucking did it. But what? There's nothing more to be said about this, is there? She's asking for it. She couldn't even be. I mean, there shouldn't even be a trial for something as clear as this. I just don't want to pump to any hasty conclusions, okay? We might suffer the consequences of a poor decision if we go to the most obvious. We had to be careful. The trial was our only chance to clear the confusion, even if it did look clear as day. Maybe it was a suicide. Maybe, like, that's my only guess, is that maybe it was a suicide. Missy, are you alright? I'll survive. Fortunately, the cut wasn't too deep. That's a relief. What happened? To be honest, I haven't the foggiest. I hardly even recall how I ended up where I did. Start from the top. What did your group do when we split up? We visited Cyrus' room and gathered information. I used the dagger pommel to knock the doorknob off and unlatch the lock. Inside we found files about the preservation project, a class dossier detailing our background, and some floor plans for the area you visited. After exhausting the file of information, we visited the trial grounds. Thinking we could confront one of the the one administering this game. However, Zero was nowhere to be found. We had hit a dead end. Figures. Whoa. Misty's story lined up with a striking similarity to what she did when I explored the main floor with her in Fort. If that was true, I'd likely know exactly what information was detailed, thanks to the strange occurrence I experienced. While we were idling in the trial room, the motives directed to Fort and Say came into play. Fort had a bit of a sorrowful look about him when he heard the song, and Say she got nothing. She hit a dead end. We hit a dead end and searched the most damning places we could in our area, and still nothing cropped up. That said, I decided to employ what I learned about Say from the files. She has some connection to Zero. Say knows Zero? Oh yeah, Oh yeah, gee, how did that not come up, Echo? The only ones who knew about Say and Zero were the ones who stayed in the foyer to investigate Cyrus's confidential information. Yes, I pleaded for her to share what she knew, and she said that she would admit for the sake of escaping. She said that she would admit it for the sake of escaping our enclosure, but rather than assisting, it appears she snuck the dagger from my possession and lashed out at me. Say attacked you? I'm afraid so. Must have said something wrong to provoke her. At that point, all I can recall is toppling back from the sudden offense as Fort put himself between me and Say. She made a threat to harm herself, directing the dagger herself, which Fort made a motive to take the dagger, but seeing as she's unharmed, it was a false alarm. She hit my head or something because I had blacked out until you two came. Missy trailed off. It was discomforting seeing her so unsure. As far as your admission goes, Say was the last one wielding the dagger, the very same one you found in Fort's body right now. That's correct. There doesn't seem to be any other conclusion there. I mean, here is there. This is essentially a locked room murder, with the only possible culprit. It would be difficult to contest otherwise. I just wouldn't be able to sit with myself if it really did come to her to spiral this far. Her voice cracked with remorse. I wanted to reassure her that it wasn't her fault, but I didn't want to lie and let anyone down. The situation was getting more and more bleak by the minute. By the way, where's Cannon? Wish we could tell you. Looks like you didn't see her calling around up here either. She disappeared while we were investigating beyond the corridors. Can't say she ran off, though. I see. Her absence during all this is quite disconcerting. Not to mention, I don't seem to have the revolver in my possession anymore. God fucking damn it. This is why you don't leave the weapons out of your room! Okay, yeah, it may seem like a bit too simple, but, um, remember Setsuka's, trial in, Danganronpa Another Chapter 4? It kind of reminded me of that. Missy reached into her inner coat pocket and came up short. You've got to be kidding. The revolver was missing. That, along with Cannon's absence, was a cause for concern. Ahem. What did you two learn in the sequester floor beneath us? Well, the rooms below are a trophy room and a testing chambers. We didn't explore the trophy room, but from the outside from the outside look of it, just a display area for a hunting game. However, we found the physical body of Zero and Eve, or Akio Quads and Gia Espray, in the testing chambers. Oh, so you learned of their identities as well. Yeah, you don't seem surprised. The two student profiles were in the class dossier. They were included, and they aren't participants. When they aren't why they were included when they are participants is beyond me. You think that kind of information would be better hidden? Or, other than that, we didn't find much else of note. I see, and none of you were near the crime scene at all. No, we went to the blackout. No, when the blackout occurred, we were immobilized, stuck in the testing chambers until the lights returned. There was a blackout, I had no idea. Must have hit when I was in my daze. I can't help but think I caused the snowball effect with Say, resulting in Fort's death. Missy grumbled under her breath. She was visibly trying to wrap her head around what we learned. After learning about details of Missy's side events, things were getting more and more tangled up. Echo a word. After talking to Missy and Say, Laylee and I shuffled off to the sidebar. I wonder what we could have put everyone in such a curious situation. I wonder what we could, what could have put everyone in a precarious situations. Never mind that. We have a very clear culprit here, don't you agree? If we point out who it is right away, the answers will come spilling out. I don't know if it's as simple as you think it is. Don't get, all, contemplative on me. Look, it's dangerous to make assumptions. I don't want to suffer needless consequences if we can help it. I get that, but don't discount a healthy suspicion. There's no use in blindly following someone's word and word alone, especially when one's adrenaline starts messing with their perception of situation. Facts can get muddled up. Agreed, we've experienced it personally. Layla and I were on the same page, although our approaches were different. The only thing we had going forward was our intuition. We had to put our heads together. We won't get anywhere if we don't work together. I hope we can count. I hope I can count on you for help. Likewise, but I can't promise anything. Where on earth is Cannon, though? Last I recall, she's been acting a little worrisome since last night. I don't think it helped her frustrations when you tried to take your camera. Laylee shot me a dark look for a second before casting his gaze under heavy eyelids. She's not the most trustworthy, okay? Running around doing who knows what. Though I shouldn't stir the pot, I suppose. I sighed. I couldn't disagree with Laylee's stance, but Cannon did make an attempt to cheer me up somewhat. I couldn't flat out accuse Laylee. I couldn't help but think her behavior was a result of me rejecting her photograph. It's that time, folks. Class trial. The elevator will take you to the courtroom. Once everyone has entered, not that there is much of you left. Okay, but where's Cannon? The four of us slumped into the elevator once more. The doors sliding to a close as we anxiously stood for whatever discoveries we would make in the courtroom. This is show by all over again. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. We stood at the elevator cab, unmoving. Geez, what is going on this time? The door slid open once more. Jen, you're alive! Cannon crept into the elevator doors, finally closed, the elevator began to move. She was alive, thankfully. Cannon! Where the hell have you been? We didn't hear a single word from her. Her silence was deafening. She faced away from the rest of us, completely unreadable. Cannon was alive after all. But her behavior after last night was, and her absence during the whole mess, it was worrisome. Cannon, I whispered, but she didn't react at all. Cannon made a haunting entry. Given what we knew about the revolver gone missing and Cannon's disappearance from the testing chambers moments before this body announcement, was I too late? Was this my fault? No, I don't think Cannon did it. I feel like it's too obvious. She didn't turn. Cannon, I was cold to you last night. You don't have to apologize. I ought to be the one who's sorry. Cannon's voice was hushed. Huh? I'm sorry. But you don't have anything to be sorry for. I'm the one who tore your well-intentioned photo in half. Cannon. What did she mean? I ought to be the one who's sorry. The atmosphere was disquieting, and no one said a word. We stoically reserved all our inquiries for the upcoming trial. I love Cannon! Wait, what? Chapter 4? Chapter 4? Wait, what? We're on the last chapter? Okay. Let me just update the title real quick. Um, I don't understand what's happening anymore, guys. I'm lost. Okay. I guess we're gonna finish the game today. Slay. Um, Chapter 3, Victim, and Chapter 4. Okay. Guys, I don't understand what's happening anymore. I'm lost. Somebody tell me what's happening. Please. Another visit to the trial grounds. So we're in Chapter 4. This is the last chapter. Every trace of the crime scene had been removed, as if nothing happened. However, I still saw the phantom image of blood painting the floor, burn the black of my eyes. The five of us stepped in warily, footsteps echoing the chambers. We had habitually navigated to our respective stands in the silence. Another trial. I love you, Shirley! I didn't say slaying to anybody. I just said slay as in we're gonna finish the game. When we split up, our groups had discovered a slew of information that attempted to explain our captivity. But in spite of making these discoveries that we thought would help us prevent further danger, another one of our group has fallen. I don't fall. It's unfortunate that I must greet you like this, but welcome back to the trial grounds. A fuzzy hologram of Gia appeared before us. Oh, you're here too? Sure, whatever. Showing your face isn't really going to change anything, you know. Gia, do you know anything about what happened to Fort? I can't say that I do, but please consider my presence as an asset to your discretion. Should you need any inquiry answered, I'll do my best. Geez, this one has been nothing but useless. If anything, I would like to posit that Zero will, at the very least, respect my testimony. It makes you think that you can pull the wool over our eyes. What if you two are colluding? You give her too much credit. At this point, she's nothing but an obstacle. Gia knows zilch. I'm the one who knows for certain whether you'll be voting correctly or incorrectly. After all, what kind of judge would I be if I didn't know? Freeing Gay meant stripping her of her prize. Huh? But we're not here to talk about that. So let's get the show on the road. I don't understand what's happening anymore. I don't follow this game. I'm so confused, guys. I'm so confused. Okay. Let's get over the rules, shall we? You're on a trial to figure out who the culprit of today's heinous crime. The rules are as follow. Discover, discovery, and determine who the culprit is among blah 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 blah, yada yada yada, yitty yitty yitty. Our victim today is Fort Solo, the ultimate opera singer. It's a real shame we never got to hear the bass baritone voice of his C'est la vie. So, you know what to do. I'm sure you'll get this one done real quick. Zero chuckled to himself after a brisk opening statement. Okay, you know what? I guess so I don't know where this is going. Fort. We all stared at each other with circumference of stands, our eyes locking onto the most suspicious. Don't waste your breath on this, there's an obvious answer. Is that so? Let's be the judge of that. The case is going to be difficult, but we need to try. Although I desperately wish this wouldn't have happened again, a culprit must be found. First thing is, we can't ignore the fact that Say was right in the middle of the crime scene, drenched in blood, presumably from the victim himself. It is ineffectible, the sheer amount of evidence proving that you are at fault for this. Make your own judgment. Tisk, fine, there is no way around the fact that no one else could have killed Fort, but I suppose I'll entertain you. Let's clear everyone's alibi. When the six of us split up, there were two groups, were as follows. Missy, Fort, and Say went to investigate the floors we've seen. Ken, Echo, and I went to investigate beyond the floor doors. Here is when Gaia's statement will prove useful. Yeah, me, Laylee, and Cannon were together with Fort in a majority of the afternoon, down in the testing chambers. That is correct. I have not left testing chambers since my release. As for supporting Laylee and Echo's statement, I did not see anyone leave the testing chambers. Nevertheless, I unfortunately took no notice of when Cannon supposedly left. Yeah, Cannon, you managed to slip out unnoticed when Laylee and I spoke to Gia. Where did you go? I had to step out. Step out, and where to? Back to the main wing? So you could sneak around and plot something of your own? Cannon, in the main wing, if she were involved in Fort's murder, she never made herself known during our journey. The three of us didn't see a trace of her as we explored the rooms. Only the three of us went to the elevator before Fort's demise. So only three of you went up. Missy, is there anything you can tell us about your group's exploration? Fort is no longer with us, and Say is obviously the culprit number one. Say might be unreliable. Doesn't the blood speak for itself? Say, one moment. I hate to commit the conclusion so hastily, so I would like to know what occurred leading to the events that caused my side of the investigation to unravel so grievously. The three of us moved one unit to the main wing, and for the entirety of our investigation, like I said, we all entered the trial ground together. And, well, I cannot speak more plainly about what occurred after, though I wish more than anything it were untrue. But that I wish nothing. But that wish is nothing but dust. The slash that has been carved in proves this. Say turned the dagger on me. Clear as day, Say Kono is the culprit behind Fort Solo's murder. Hold it. You asked me to act right now, I wouldn't lay a vote against Say. I was the only one present when she made her assault. I would know what her motive to cause harm was, and I say it was not with murderous intent. Say still harmed you though. Her actions alone could inactivate more. case in point, there are pregnant murders afoot. Are you protecting her? What do you have to gain from doing something like that? Hang on, if Misty has an explanation, we should hear her out. Apprehensive about voting too quickly, especially when we haven't yet established any rhyme or reason. Indeed, my testimony is not driven by a want to gain anything except the truth. Would not be engaging myself if I vote against Say. Ugh. I see where this is going. Knowing tiresome you all are, I want to dig for the reason behind these sort of things, despite seeing the conclusive could not be more telling. Fine, let's talk motivation. Just cut to the case, will you? It would be helpful, after all. 0 explicitly delivered motivations in different target ways over the course of the afternoon. Motivations. What could cause Say to turn dagger against Missy, and possibly against Fort as well? And did hearing the other motivations cause someone else to behave differently? Hopefully, in turn, we might also get an answer to Laylee's question for what Missy might have to gain if she potentially were protecting Say. Girl, I don't know what's happening anymore. Let's see what everyone has to say about their specific motives. My motive was a photograph. My motive along with Cannon's was delivered shortly after the two groups parted ways. A photograph of a body portrait of a friend who the dagger once belonged. Say, the announcement didn't direct any sort of gift to you. That's right. And Laylee, your motive was the blackout, a result of fear of the dark. No, it's wrong. Is that so? It's possible that Say being left out might be left of her impression of her. My motive was a photograph. I feel like that's wrong. Well, we know that much. No, I don't care to look at it. If you want us to suspect you, for all we know, you could have been planning something for the motive. Laylee, hang on there. Missy said she didn't see Cannon around. Okay, yeah. I don't know what I'm meant to be disputing here. A bloody portrait. See the announcements. That's right. And Laylee, your motive was the fear of the dark. Darkness. I wasn't aware of something like that occurred. Yeah, but if you don't have any remembrance of it, I see. Yes, I can't believe I still have to ask. Care to elaborate at all? It's unimportant. Is that so? But during the moment, based on the murder scene, we had glaringly obvious culprit. But oh, okay, so I did press the right one. I was skipping through that because I didn't think I picked the right one. But none of us could understand why Say would act in such a way to make things more confusing. Say is the only one. The timing perspective, instantly, for each individual motive, it must create some voluntary in our headspace, as far as I can tell. It's a little, it's a little to follow. And the ones are and aren't relevant. Though, now that I think about it, if it was announcing them was purpose, the announcing of the motives, but why would someone else's motives affect someone but person it was meant for? Well, I was just thinking, I didn't receive a personalized motive either, but I hear that everyone got something that would try to provoke them to murder. Wouldn't that be frightening? To hear whose motive has a reason to kill, you'd feel tormented that the others could turn on you. That's all I can think of. Say recovering her motive last, at least before Laylee's blackout. In that case, we're back to square one. Say is the culprit. You explained a reason why she could be motivated to kill, despite not receiving a personalized motive herself. She heard all the motive previous to hers and must have been shaken by the potential of someone turning on her. Discussion deadlock. Is it possible? I mean, well, it is possible, but no buts. If you need more proof, let's move on. What? I'm sorry for skipping so much. I thought I pressed the wrong one. My bad. So we kind of just like skipped a bunch of information, but it's fine. With the advent of Missy's claims of Say's attack in mind, the next topic is obvious. That is the state of Fort's body. Yeah, the victim report was extremely non-specific, more than previous. Vague on purpose, most likely. There were innumerable amount of stab wounds on the abdomen, likely from the dagger before it was finally stuck into his body. Stabbed, I thought. Cannon quickly fell silent. Something you want to share? Oh, that's right, Cannon. You didn't even see the body, did you? No, I didn't see the body. Then is something wrong? Nothing's wrong. Then why are you shocked from Fort being stabbed? You clearly know nothing. Lily, ease back. But please, Cannon, if you know something odd, we need your help. Something's odd. Something odd. My help? It's I shot Fort. Huh? You did what? Cannon? I You better explain yourself. Not only was the revolver out of Missy's hand when we met up with her, but you also have no alibi whatsoever. I should hope that Cannon was contentious, the person you think was to deny information as critical as this was concerned. But now I must know as well, why did you come to the foyer? And what end did the revolver last bullet entreat to have finally been spent? Cannon finally admitted that she caused harm to Fort, but now why she meant to do such a thing caused the anticipation to rise in my chest. I've been suspicious of Say for a while. I had a strange intuition, or just another string of bad luck led on me. What made me act was finally seeing that mysterious announcer in the testing chambers. Echo and Laylee discovered Gia, the voice behind Eve. So naturally, the other incapacitation person must be Say's connection. What made you suspect Zero and Miss A had a connection to begin with? I noticed her reaction at the first Killing Game announcement. She was transfixed on that voice, as if she had heard it before. A small detail, but I couldn't shake it. From day one, I'd only ever been suspicious of her. But now, she's playing the long game. I planned to have, that the plan had to backfire eventually, right? I slipped out when Gia, Echo, and Laylee were talking. I had to investigate my apprehensions about her. Returning to the foyer, I moved warily. I did find a trace of them on the first floor. The only thing was a photo on the floor and a punctured mark in the wall near the elevator. I just missed them. I noticed the elevator was at the trial run. I called for the elevator to follow after. Upon arrival, the door opened and Misty was suddenly flung into the elevator cab with me. She dropped in, bloodied, and her hand hung low. I thought she might have been dead. I looked up to see her uh, assaultant was and Say and Fort in the middle of the struggle. Even though Fort had a dagger in his hand, Say was the one with blood all over her hands. He must have pulled the weapon away from her, and just after she attacked. My suspicion about Say was confirmed. She was under our nose the whole time, waiting for the right moment to strike. Missy's revolver had fallen out of her coat pocket, and I grabbed it and didn't think twice and fired towards Say. Well, I thought I did. The lights went out a second after. I couldn't see where my shot landed. I couldn't run to check either. Since the elevator shut in my face and mechanically returned me and Missy to the foyer, I ran. A shot was fired. Missy was unconscious, and a blackout overtook everything. Does that statement help? There we have it. A confession. What? Wait. Wait for what? Is there any reason for us not to accept that as the truth? Well, no, but Cannon says she fired the revolver, a gun wound. Where? And that doesn't yet explain the lacerations. We can't ignore the one thing the Monokuma detailed for us, that there had been some relevance. It's within reason for me to doubt the fact, aren't I? Oh, I can explain them. But how? Because I stabbed him in the abdomen after he was shot. What? Why? Hmm. Well, no, he was hiding it since you confessed. Truthfully, I couldn't believe it at first, but seeing how desperate she was, I ultimately wanted to help Cannon escape. Huh? After I witnessed Cannon short Fort from the elevator, he fell quickly and I saw his bracelet turn pink. I realized that because she wasn't with Laylee or Echo, Cannon would be most likely implicated as the culprit. So I did what I had to do. I stabbed Fort's body several times near the gunshot wound to conceal it, making it look like he had died from blood loss from lacriations rather than the shot. And since I was the only one on the trial grounds, the blame would be redirected to me. After all, Cannon wants to leave just as much as any of us. Why not give her the advantage? No way. But Cannon became the culprit without even seeing her victim fall. Is that it? I can't argue with that. I didn't even see whether he or not he died. But you're just going to accept it? All I know is that I fired a shot and someone ended up dead. What else is there to say? And unfortunately, as far as we know, the surrounding conditions of Fort's death are indescribable, and say it's the only witness. But is that really all there is to it? Given I ultimately wound up in the foyer, it stands with reason that Cannon indeed visited the trial grounds, causing the elevator cab to go up and bring me down after the assault. If you witnessed that, I did not find the revolver on my person after I woke. I can't argue with that, but ugh, listen to you. I'm not hiding anything this time. I just want to keep going with this discussion because the truth is hard to swallow as it is. I have news for you. These trials are full of impossible to accept facts. I'm sorry for continuing this vicious cycle, so you won't just allow me to leave with whatever is left of my dignity. Just let me receive punishment already. No, that's not it. And there's something bothering you. Just spit it out already. I couldn't help but think there's something missing. I wrecked my body for an answer for something. The story feels off to me, but I just don't know why. Something is out in the open. What else is there to deliberate? Nothing. Don't be a coward and just vote me off already. There's no proof of another culprit. Then you're just endangering yourself with an incorrect vote. I'm sure there's something else we can talk about that can save you. Cannon, don't you care that you could be executed? Of course I care. But who am I to argue with these facts? They're impossible to dispute. It's my punishment, isn't it? It's only fair that I get what I deserve. Can't I fight it? I don't know what to think. None of us had an inkling of what truly occurred on the trial grounds. Cannon admitted that she shot Fort. Say claims that that the shot was what killed him. Say masked the gun wounds, stabbing Fort several times, allowing Cannon to a clean getaway. But Cannon unsuspectfully confessed. There was no reason for Say to keep secret the fact that she disturbed the crime scene, making it appear the way it did. All I could do to take their word for it, right? Cannon and Say's testimonies were the only thing we had to work with, yet I couldn't help but feel there was more to this. I struggled to find the truth in this trial. It wouldn't lead me to a dead, but would it lead me to a dead end? A dead end. Misty said something like that when I went with her in Fort the first time. We ran into a dead end of sorts, where we investigated the courtroom. We couldn't find zero or any hints, and then we were killed one by one shortly thereafter. Something inexplicable occurred, and my conscience faded. I returned to the time before we split up into the groups. This time, I went with Laylee's group. I had information I never could have known if I didn't go with Missy's group first. I knew the testing chamber's code somehow, and that Pandora's incubated sister was Gia, the ultimate cartographer. Was it possible that I needed to pursue this dead end? I grit my teeth. I had an absurd idea. This decision is, I mean, the discussion is over. There's nothing wrong. Cannon is the culprit. I looked over at my classmates who had the same painted, startled expression at the finality of my decision. All of them were shocked except Say. That's right. That's right. Nothing is wrong. Zero silently obligated, calling forward the vote screens to the other students. Everyone's dumbfounded. With no other option lay before them, only one vote was to be made. What? Class trial adjourned. Something doesn't feel right here, though. Auf Wiedersehen, Cannon. Thank you for all your hard work, haha. The room shook as the walls behind Cannon opened to reveal the dark depths. Cannon herself simply turned from her place, and Stan walked into the shadow. That is it. I fled from the stand, my feet pounding as they carried me toward the hallways beyond the walls. What on earth are you doing? I paid no attention to Gia's calls. I was pursuing that dead end. I slipped in, Gia's startled explanation along with the others, shocked cries echoing through the halls just before the walls shut. My head was thrashing from fear. Each breath I took was heavier than the last. I threw myself in an execution. Cannon. I cautiously stepped forward. A vial of darkness caused me to lose my bearings. Echo, what the hell are you doing here? I blindly chased after Cannon's voice, each step taking enormously effort as I fought against my instincts for self-preservation. This isn't right. What do you mean? You all voted for this. It's my punishment, isn't it? I was closing in on her. That's right. This is your punishment. This is everyone's punishment. Wait, what? The whirring machine clicked into place as bursts of light flooded the room. Powerful lights bled through my closed eyelids, burning back in my head. At the flash of each sound, object darting through the air, hit the floor before each of us, and for each shot approaching our location. No, no, no! Cannon's cry played out amidst the sound of a gunfire. Ugh. All I could say was the flaring flashes of the silhouette of her body convulsive violently, each hit pulling her body apart. A sharp object narrowly started past me, tearing through the coat, breaking skin. Blood began to ooze from the cut. I heard Cannon collapse before me. I stared toward and tried to find her, guiding my hand through the darkness in vain. Ack! Pin picks a pin pricks my hand. Needles. I felt around the ground and picked one up. It was small, nearly inevitable thing. Its own. But when shot at high speeds, the needle became lethal. Another series of flash fired up by me. Between flashes, I saw the mangled body that used to be candled, now disfigured, bloody mass. Ugh, the metallic place of blood filled my mouth and I began to choke. A sharp pain meddled its way through my throat. Ah, ah. I bulked immediately, pang of anguish overwhelmed my senses. If I was wrong about this, if I was terribly absurd, ridiculously wrong, I just put my life in danger for nothing. But following the dead end had nothing. Had to be something strange. I lost my grip on the situation. I only felt pain. The terrible sensation sank into my blood. Um, and the offering ache rushed through every inch of my body. There's something bothering you. Just spit it out already. Gasp. I grasped my throat. My skin was undamaged. Only. What the fuck is happening in this game? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand it. Oh, what the hell? I grasped my throat, my skin undamaged. Only the startling, phantom pain of a needle that pierced my throat remained. I wiped my sweat from my brow, met the gaze of the concerned faces staring back from my explanation. Cannon, alive once more, relieved my panicked gaze with only a stoic expression. Just a few feet away from me, she was still waiting for her boat. Are you okay? Swallowing hard, I finally realized the purpose of these harrowing strange occurrences that gave me a glimpse of everything that could go wrong. Somehow, I had managed to escape death twice. How was I able to experience an alternate history like that? I couldn't begin to fathom an explanation. I was trembling. My heart was hammering in my chest. I, but as if anything like, but if there was anything like the moment before entering the testing chambers, I steadied my breathing. There had to be something useful in the moment of time between coming to a conclusion, like a consensus on the culprit and being executed. If I gathered what I learned from the two occurrences ending the death, perhaps I can put together a picture of what could have occurred. As far as the group was aware, the only clues we had to work from were found from the crime scene, and there weren't many to begin with. Fort's body had multiple electrocutions clustered in one area due to Say hiding the gunshot wound inflicted by Cannon. He also had a small pool of blood near the back of his head. However, the only source of blood near the back of his head was what bothered me. Nothing clearly visible caused the injury. I didn't know how to explain the life saving phenomenon I just experienced, but I knew I had to take the opportunity it gave me to find the truth. Look, I still don't think we have the full picture. Please, I can't vote for Cannon. So you're implicating Say as well. Not exactly, but her presence is important. If you think something's missing, then just shoot it out. We won't know what's going on in that head of yours if you keep stopping the trial for no reason. That's the problem. I don't know where to start. I couldn't yet sway the group from and with this absurd notion that Cannon would be wrongfully executed. I didn't have the means to explain how I knew such a thing. I just think we ought to continue deliberating the details. There's something bothering me. If you could just entertain me with this, I'd like to further address the accusations. Well, Cannon admitted she shot Fort. She didn't know whether or not it was the shot that killed him for certain. I saw her shoot him, but let's say the shot itself didn't kill him right away. As far as I could tell, the stab wounds were and the subsequent hidden gun wound weren't hit, weren't near his vitals. They were around his lower abdomen. I remember the condition for lifting the darkness was to kill. Cannon, where did the lights go out? They went out a second after I fired, and just before the elevator doors closed on me. The elevator was still working, though. I couldn't see a thing, but I felt the cab move, bringing me back down the foyer without a hitch. After I arrived on the foyer, I waited out the darkness in the elevator cab before running off to the So she waited out the darkness, and the darkness fell seconds after she fired. Lately, we were just, we were just as immobilized in the testing chambers as Cannon was in the elevator cab, and had to wait out the darkness as well. So, does that mean Fort wasn't instantly killed? They must have taken advantage of his injury state, taking the dagger from him with a little resistance and retaliated. He must have been weak from Cannon's chance shot. When the lights went out, they stabbed him, finishing him off in the lift of the darkness. In that case, what you said about covering for Cannon was a lie. So you really stabbed Fort to death. Misty knows it. Cannon saw it too. I saw? I turned the dagger on Misty first. She has the scar to prove it. Fort would be next. What are you talking about? I only saw Fort with the dagger facing off against you. Then when did Say acquire the dagger? Fort didn't push up Missy away in time. She would have fallen instead. And if Fort didn't push Missy away in time, she would have fallen instead. No, you can't mean that. And why not? I planned the attack after you pinned the dagger into the wall. I took it. If you're planning to attack, why didn't you do so sooner? You had the perfect opportune time when we were all in the elevator going to the trial grounds. You were asking why I didn't attack sooner? What was stopping you? Why does it keep going like that? What the fuck? I hate that my laptop does this. I didn't get to read any of that. We're not getting anywhere like this. But this decision, it's impossible to make heads or tails of it. We had a culprit pinned from the start. Say, we drew at the trial only for Canada to take ownership of a hidden gun wound, and now we're really are back to square one. Say met the requirement for lifting the darkness and hid the gun wound. though we would vote wrong. Neither me, Missy, or nor Echo were at the scene, so basing our conjectured on the testimony of two most suspicious people it's impossible. Damn it! How could we possibly find the truth based on their word and word alone? I understood Laylee's frustration, but bearing all discussion so far, there has always been an obvious culprit starting right at her face. But something inside me was resisting the easy answer. I simply couldn't accept Say as the culprit. I had to think. Those strange occurrences ending in death, I learned something I normally wouldn't have. With the tangible proof of what I needed to express, I put faith in the facts learned from the memories of the events, hoping something would work out. I put faith in believing no one here killed. Not after what happened twice already. Just what did I experience, those strange occurrences. In those two scenarios, my life was gravely threatened. And yet I still stood here with the memories of those events. After all, they had happened for a reason, right? It was far fetched, but I had utilized what I learned with hopes that the facts would learn, I mean, would, I mean, learned would guide me to the right direction. If I have to think about what I've come to know, the information learned, we visited Cyrus's room, and was about the killing game. The game was an experiment to see who would survive and win to overcome other ultimate students. The game participants were paired with other close students to create friction between relations. The game was set up to sow chaos and disorder. Sei was listed alongside the former student Akihiko, um, known now to us as Zero. After Missy, Fort and I came to a dead end in our search. We discovered Cannon had been killed. Missy and Fort fell shortly after. Then I, the last one standing, heard the voice of the assailant say. She pleaded for escape, but the near death haze, I could recall Zero telling Say. I could recall Zero himself telling Say, "You don't want the prize." That after eliminating everyone, killing isn't the answer. It was whisked back in time somehow, back to the discussion that would bring me to this point alive. Those were the things I learned about falling to my demise. Falling for a sparse moment, that is. Finding new mysterious that breathed into me, I wandered a different path, utilizing information that I learned from my previous experience. I don't know what's happening anymore. The information led me us here to complete another murder. Foolish to think that the experience would be my last. I would come to relieve near death once again when our discussion became deadlocked. This time I risked emulating the strange dead end occurrence that pursued the thing I believed was missing from Fort's murder. This brief experience, but I saw the method Zero used to dispose of Cannon, small near invisible needles shot at high speed, and the little else before returning here. The truth felt so close. I felt apprehension rising in my chest. Say, tell me, what happened after Cannon shot Fort? What happened? I stabbed Fort. How many times do I have to tell you? You stabbed Fort, but did you kill him? Isn't it obvious? It's not. Cannon claims that before she shot you, Fort was the last person in possession of the dagger. Lights went out shortly after, and from that point, no one can really say who had the dagger. The thought, and though the danger was plunged from Fort's abdomen, giving us the impression of it being the murder weapon, I can't help but think otherwise. Primarily because of the scenario we found ourselves in. There was a constant pressure put upon us with personalized modes spread throughout our exploration. That is, until Laylee's final personalized motive. With a heavy darkness to stroke our fear, we would be scrambling until someone acted maliciously from previous set pressure. but I can't see my own hand but I couldn't even see my own hand in front of my face, let alone begin to plan out a kill to get away with it. So to carry it out, um, to fruition would be near impossible. The entire building was indeed plunged into a dark, thick darkness. Plunged into such a thick darkness, I can't help but think, how could any of us killed Fort? Hmm, that's interesting phrasing. Yeah, what are you onto? Recall when our group split, Zero mentioned something interesting. So you all decided to split up, huh? That's alright. No sweat off my back, figuratively speaking, obviously. Thank you for your thanks to your fancy bracelets, I can still locate where you are. There's no escaping for you quite yet. It seems is able to know our whereabouts within the building. In that case, he was able to locate us from our bracelets. Are you implying Zero has taken moves to actively, moves to actively though discreetly participate in the game with us? There's no going back. Yes, I believe Zero might have been, might have had a hand in killing Fort. Hmm? That's nonsense. Have you lost your mind? Where are you getting this theory? I know you want us to entertain you, but this is a little much, isn't it? Laylee, please. I know it's a lot to ask, but I want you to trust me. I'd like to hear where this is going. It's a funny idea as well, Echo. Laylee intensely glare burned through me, but he fell silent, allowing me to continue. He must be observing my next unpredictable move, just like when I suggested knowing the testing chamber code. Zero idly glazed back at me, a complete poker face masking whatever scheme he was plotting. I felt a strange sense of conviction that connecting an execution method with the mysterious pool of blood that was behind Fort's head, which led me to the answer I was seeking. I had to use what I learned from Cannon's execution dead end. The fact that Zero prepared a barrel of needles. It's like Mithy said, the more he talks, the faster his options will diminish. As Zero's readying himself for an explanation, there was my opening to draw something out from him. Zero, I want the truth. The truth that you're the one behind this. The truth? Let's see if you can find it. This game is all over the place. I love this game, but Jesus Christ, it is chaos. You're making a ridiculous accusation, you know. How possibly could I have how could I possibly have killed a student? I can only operate within the courtroom. Zero is goading me. His voice unwavering. There's a statement somewhere that I can use. You're making a ridiculous accusation, you know. How could I have possibly... I can only operate in the courtroom. As far as I've seen, you can operate from within the courtroom. But where the body turned up, isn't it? That much was obvious. The announcement summoned us to the courtroom, and there was no evidence of the crime being moved from one place to another. What weapon do you suppose I could have killed him with? The only weapon available was the dagger. Say admitted to using it. I definitely didn't electrocute or use supersonic on anyone around this time. Fact of there's nothing in this courtroom that showed I had anything to do with this. Location. That's true, there's nothing in the courtroom. But there's things beyond the courtroom walls. Namely, the tools used for execution that you clearly have some agency over. You conveniently omitted the cause of death because you know it would have implicated someone not from our group. Based on what everyone else knows, it sounded far-fetched, but to me, it was the only thing that made perfect sense. Zero seemingly had no power in the courtroom, proven by the fact that during the past two trials, the hologram's purpose had been purely cosmetic. That said, the machinery hidden behind the trial walls themselves could very well suffice not only as tools for execution, but for murder in of itself. So that's how it's going to be, huh? So you're implying I took Fort beyond the walls, executed him, and dumped his body back out? Why wouldn't I just execute him and leave his body with the rest of the punished students? I didn't do anything to receive, and I mean, he didn't do anything to receive an execution anyways. He's no, I mean, he's not so heartless, haha. You're missing a piece in your argument. Echo, this discussion is going nowhere. What could Zero have gained from participating? I have nothing to gain from intervening. I mean, in my position, I certainly have nothing to lose. The ultimate prize is so desirable that even an arbiter of the game would want to win it. Why didn't Zero simply eliminate us from the start? Laylee brought up a good point. You haven't unearthed anything useful from Zero yet, and within reason, if Zero wanted the prize as well, he would have survived this long, so there has to be a reason why. Echo, this discussion is going nowhere. What would Zero have? I have nothing to gain from intervening. Hang on. Nothing to lose. The location and method was clear, but the motivation stumped me. I have to concentrate. If Zero truly had nothing to gain by executing us all, why did he only now carry out a plan to murder one of the game's participants? If he had nothing to gain, there must be something he didn't want to lose, something he wanted to keep, something or someone. Zero and Say they have some sort of connection. That very connection could become the motive I'm looking for. Cannon noted seeing Fort with the dagger last, just before the lights went out. Since Say is unscathed, and the room showed no signs of a gunshot in the wall, it's clear Fort must have been taking the shot. If Fort had the dagger in the entire time, we could have used it against Say. If Zero was observing his offense offense against her, there would only be, and then he would have a reason to consider Fort as a threat to Say. That has to be it. It's impossible for me to assert with any clarity that exactly occurred in the courtroom. However, I can think of a reason why it happened. Yeah, right. And it's not for the ultimate prize. Like Laylee said, the ultimate prize was so desirable, why wouldn't Zero get rid of us all from the beginning? In that case, winning the ultimate prize has nothing to do with Zero, and with why Zero acted. Although he isn't strictly participant, he's still involved. That involvement, there's something connecting us as a participant to him as an overseer. Laylee, have you seen something very important that will complete? And you have seen something very important that will complete this picture. The note. It reads, "You recognize one of the symbols depicted. Then you have finally found me and are safe. Please do not speak on the note's existence. And trust no one but yourself." Laylee discovered the note in the pantry after seeing Say duck in there for a brief moment. Say must have unknown something as early as the third day. No, even earlier, since Zero's emblem was shown on the second day. It's like Cannon said, when the killing game announcement came on, Say must have been clued in on the person behind it. She's known all this time and played us for fools, ducking out of confrontation. Say on the was the other insider. Her student profile didn't explicitly document any involvement in the game, but her files were paired alongside Akihiko's, the one we're currently called Zero. On the second day, when Zero summarized us to Alterium for a special gift, this note must have been it. Based on what we know, it's clear that we must have some insight on who Zero is. However, instead of thinking Say was the spy within our ranks, convening Zero to plot against us, Zero's the one trying to bridge the gap between participants and albeit to intervene with Say's safety. Huh? Wait. But even if that's the case, why would Say go out of her way to direct attention of implicating herself as the culprit? Isn't that action in demetric opposite? Demer- Demetric opposition of what you're implying? No, I killed Fort. He deserved it after all. He would be forsaking her own safety by placing the blame on herself, the false culprit, causing us to vote incorrectly and inevitably causing us all to die. Zero had nothing to do with it. And what Say did to Fort during the trial was her own violation, shattering the connection between her and Zero. If he killed to keep her safe, she completely threw the sentiment out the window. I'm the only culprit. Vote for me. Well, Zero, what do you have to say about this? You'll never know the answer if you don't. I mean, you'll never know the answer if you don't vote. If they confess, what's stopping you from accepting her judgment as truth? If you want to believe your, I mean, you want to believe your friend, don't you? Not when it comes to you, buddy. What's stopping me? I want to believe that she could never do something like that. Haha. Haha. That's it? Just you're completely out of this world conjecture about me interfering. You have no tangible basis on trust either. Such irresponsible thinking could lead to your execution, you know. Zero wasn't going to be shaken easily, but the fact that his arguments are lofty and just intangible gives me some solace that I could turn the trial around. I could do so by forcing the subject. Okay. Say, I'm not going to vote for you. You're the only one who knows what happened for certain. So please tell us why. Why are you trying so hard to make us vote incorrectly? You can't possibly want us to all get executed, do you? That that's exactly what I want. Complete execution. Uh girl, what? Okay. Okay. Whew. Sigh. Even though Cannon admitted to something she didn't do, I went with it for the sake of redirecting the vote. Regardless of regardless if you vote for her or voted for me, it was going to be the wrong and we'd all face execution. And we'd finally be freed from this horrible game. Say, you can't possibly believe leading us to our demise is the right answer. Why not? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Pandora's gone, Art is gone, Cyrus is gone, Ashley is gone, and now Ford is gone because of me. I can't stand any of this. The pain and the suffering is endless. Zero killed Fort to protect me, but I don't care. I don't know who Zero is anymore. I came all this way to find the shell of someone I knew. When will this nightmare end? When can we escape? Even if we don't kill, someone dies, and we're still stuck. We're trapped. I'm tired of believing in something that will never happen. I have nothing to lose, nothing to gain. Why do I keep going? What's the point of fighting? Everyone is slipping out of my fingers. I'll be left alone. Alone? Say, look around you. You're not alone. What? You have nothing left to lose, but you have all the people standing before you. I mean, but what about the people standing before you? We aren't enduring the pain, the guilt, the torment, of surviving for nothing. Endurance. Survival? Please, we can figure this out together. It's pointless at the 11th hour. So what? Space spiraling. I don't need to convince her that she's not alone. That fight is worth fighting. So what? Our endurance is worthless. How do I... I don't know how to do this. There's no instructions. Fight worth fighting. Say spiraling. Okay, but how do I... I can't do anything. I survived. Blah, 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 blah. Oh. Okay. Not how I expected that to work. But complete execution won't solve the problem. There's another way out. I'm certain of it. There must be a way, so please help me. No, I can't. I can't take it anymore. The fear of it's all awful. Don't forget. Let me go. forget. I want to stop this game too, but we shouldn't forget the turmoil of our friends went. Pandora, Art, Cyrus, Ashley, and Fort. We can't simply abandon our memories with them. I'm not going to stop the. I mean, I'm not going to stop the game by voting for you. I'm not going to abandon the memory of you either. Me, but I don't understand. After what I've lost on Savage, why fight for my sake? It's hopeless. It's not true. The truth was hopeless. I mean, was hopeless. Was staring us straight in the face, but there's no denying it. I felt a desire to combat the terror that hung over us above all. After experiencing what Say did to us, out of desperation, I felt responsibility to vouch for her innocence the only way I knew how. Say you're not alone. You're here with us as our friend. You're not alone and feeling scared and hopeless. Everyone's trying their best to keep their heads above their water. I know what will happen after this if we will make, I mean, or if, I mean, I don't know what will happen after this or if we will make it out, but we have to try. But I did a horrible thing to Fort. Isn't this ending what I deserve? It's not your fault. How can you know that? I just believe you. Please, I don't want to see us go through anything like this again, so you're the only one who knows for certain who the culprit is. This game will surely be over after we uncover the last truth. After all, you didn't kill Fort. How could I? Of course I didn't kill him. I was so scared. Hector was right about the motive. The fact that, the fact that little by little everyone was being pushed some way or another into distress, I felt pressure mounting. Who was to know what sort of motive would be delivered? I took the dagger to protect myself. I couldn't possibly know what was going went on anyone's head after those motives, could I? I wasn't even relieved that I didn't get a motive because I couldn't help but think about everyone else's, that everyone else would be given a reason to turn on one another. And when Fort said that he would take matters into his own hands, I feared for my life. I froze after I slashed Missy, and he overtook the dagger. What Cannon saw was only half the story. He did appear to have the advantage over me, but it was just performance. Performance for only possible person in the audience. The lights went out. Darkness, Laylee's gift, directed from his fears to you. Only murder will lift the darkness. Well, what the? Fort and I were plunged into never-ending darkness, even though I hadn't moved. I couldn't even tell where the floor was. But somehow he found me. He didn't move a muscle. He seemed quickly took my. It seemed he quickly took my action in the darkness, a lifting condition. Finally, Fort had the dagger pointed to my throat. I could feel the chilling cold steel just inches away. Finally, I thought time had stopped. Fort was still as stone as the dagger poised for my end. He whispered something so low that I thought I imagined it. A stage where every man must play a part, and mine a sad one. Heck. Then Fort just fell. When the lights returned, I saw his body laying face up in a small pool of blood forming behind his head. I looked up to see the trial grounds walls close steadily. And Zero's polygon was this awful, satisfied expression. He made a gesture, like he was holding an invisible camera. Zero clued me in on who he was, um, going to mark after the killer, even though Zero killed Court himself. Zero planned to manipulate the outcome of the trial. He could see the trial play out. I mean, I could see the trial play out in my head. Fort's gun would, Fort's gun would have been the decisive clue. The pool behind his head, probably from just falling from the impact. I couldn't believe it. Fort was killed because of me, and Cannon was going to be framed because of me. I picked up the dagger Fort dropped. If the true culprit was never going to be found, I was going to make this trial easy and direct the blame towards me, so the wrong vote and executions following could happen right away. Then we wouldn't have to suffer a long trial. Geez, I was not expecting this. The shuffle game could finally come to an end. After all, it's my fault was Fort was pushed to do such awful things. Killing is the only answer here. He was forced into a corner, using me as bait to sacrifice himself to Zero. He went through those lengths for me. I mean, he didn't want to just kill me to be done with it. I couldn't understand what had happened. So I thought if I could lead the trial to an incorrect vote, that the game would end without me having to do that terrible thing, and I would be freed from this trap. But Zero saved me. He took you from harm's path. At least that's what he thought he was doing. Say, you knew you were trying to manipulate the blame off. I mean, you knew that he was trying to manipulate the blame off of you. So why did you still retract the vote to yourself? Because I have nothing else to work forward to. I ended up here for a reason, for one reason or another, and all the signs have pointed towards demise. Because even after all that, whoever that Zero is isn't my friend anymore. I now have nothing. Say, I know by now what you're here. I know by now that you're here for you. You must know by now that we're here for you. Missy's right. We've been trapped we've been trapped. That much is certain. But we're not isolated. We have each other, and together we can help each other build up hope for escape. No need to act alone. Akihiko, we both wanted to save someone. I don't truly think this was the answer, do you? Manipulating the trial like this, it's unreal. Tick. Akihiko isn't here anymore. Since giving himself up to the game, his consciousness has been long gone. So, disillusioned by the fact that he was a fellow ultimate, I mean, being so disillusioned by the fact he and his fellow ultimates were treated, he dropped everything and let himself be consumed with despair. It's poetic, isn't it? He gave himself because this game was the only thing he could cling to. It gave him purpose. The fact Gia is holding on to another killing game, can you really trust her? After all, she oversaw the same the same game. She oversaw the game just as I am before you released her, that is. All she did was watch and let Pandora die. You have no idea of the sacrifice I went through. I seethed at the idea that you think I idled and I see that the idea you think I idled and watched Pandora let herself die. Uh-huh. And what have you done since to prevent it? You didn't try to stop her, assailant like I did you? So, do you think Gia is on your side, spouting empty sentiment and rolling over doing nothing but watch the game carelessly take lives? I'll tell you what, your friend Gia here did something very interesting. Don't you dare demonize what I did. Excuse me, I never killed anyone in my game. You, on the other hand, why, you disgust me. I invited you to open the foyer doors so one of you fools could deliver your punishment. They have no reason to trust you after all. There are no one rules save. There are no rules save for one. Those who kill should not get away with it. Let me give it one more try. Gia isn't your friend. She's played this game once before, and she'll do anything to keep herself from losing going forward. And even from the winner's circle, she did what she could to gain the advantage. She's the one who trapped you in the ship. Ship? Even if someone won this game, there would be nowhere to go. You're completely sealed in. Left to die in isolation, confined in these walls. it's crazy. We're on a fucking ship? We're on a what now? So who's the real mastermind here? I'm confused. Left to die in isolation, confined in these walls. Isn't that crazy? It's fact, trapping you all may be a ploy for her to kill again. Why not? It'll prove once more that she's deceiving, and she's deceiving of being called an ultimate. You don't understand. I did what I had to do. Oh, of course, I don't understand. You're the one giving hope to these people, yet all you've done was cause trouble. Unfortunately for you, I control what occurs in this vicious cycle. I'm using power to keep me safe. You should have never brought me here in the first place. I know. I was tricked. This game is a farce. I won the killing game that preceded this one and received the ultimate prize. The prize of a lifetime of suffering. That's the prize? The prize within the group within a group of indeceiveable talent individuals, should someone defeat their fellow ultimate students and come on top, their efforts and achievements would be highly prized, wouldn't they? To see they would come on top, that was the experiment of the preservation project was conducting. The project wanted to gather the very best of the best for the sake of the future, as it were. The despair program was ruined. Was ruined. Whatever semblance of Akio remained, creating this Zero persona. Zero was a false name you ran under in the previous game. After all, there's no surprise to me that it's being used again under the guise of a killing game operator. Despite that, Akihiko's will stay precise in the Zero memory. Fort must have taken the risk to see whether or not the entity connected with C would act. I hardly recognize him anymore. His voice is the same, but I don't know who that is anymore. There's no traces left. That's right. He's a shell of his former self. The game is all. The game and all its terrors now inhabit the ultimate radio host. Aki wanted to erase the wrongdoing he would commit in his game. Wanted to erase the wrongdoing he committed in his game and. Ready? 81565 Stop. The hologram crackled in and out. The program was fitting itself. It was fighting itself right before our very eyes. Your efforts are wasted. You gave yourself up to despair, and yet you still try to deliver a signal of hope. You defined your own actions. This very self-preservation action that saved you in the last game. What happened to selfishness? I'll bury you. The albeit was called Zero. Was fighting itself. Its current form, a former form, trying to make sense of its own actions. Numbers! What's happening? A conflict we can't control. Offish effort, prepared. You cannot just overcome the darkness. The light shuddered as we watched Zero fight unfold. Heh. Zero entity fought its way into dominance, greeting us with a haunting grin. Well, I guess you caught me, eh? Fine, the jig's up. I don't resist since I've been thoroughly caught in the act, by some triumphs of hope, or whatever nonsense you want to admit. After all, I wouldn't be doing your efforts justice, to keep fighting, back after you went through so much trouble. It must have been some rotten luck that you got, that you got, some rotten luck that got you out of this one, huh? Who are you, Echo? I don't know who you are. A talentless nobody managed to realize the trick I pulled off. By all accounts, you should have been executed by now. If you all went according to my manipulation, Cannon should be should be a pincushion, and the rest of you dropped into an incinerator. Although, what's stopping me from letting that happen? I'll execute myself and bring you all with me. Don't you dare. This is the last show of your host, Zero, signing off today. It's cast with Eternal Dead Air. Wahahaha. The light bloomed violently and oversaturating the trial grounds with a blast of glaring heat. Damn it, no! A terror tore through the room. The sound of metal cracking filled the halls, and light flickered dazzling as we struggled to gain footing. Everyone, get down and cover your heads and neck! We all dove to the floor, each quaking jolt set us into a fro with ease. I have no idea what's happening. Kathunk. The shaking came down to a low rumble, and the ground eventually settled into stillness once more. The light returned to a dim glow, and the five of us cautiously rose to our feet. The trial grounds were quiet. Where's that bastard Zero? Laley leapt to his feet, darting around the trial grounds for a sign of Albert. Are you alright? A concerned static-filled hologram of Gia illuminated the room. We're fine, no thanks to you. I'm sorry, I didn't anticipate the superstructure would have yet buckled under pressure, but seeing as Zero overloaded the systems, the advice effect of his self-inflicted execution may have sped up the process. What are you talking about? That doesn't explain where you were and why you never helped. Laylee, calm down. We're all fine, aren't we? I helped Cannon to her feet, as Missy did the same with Say. Are you okay, Cannon? A little shaky, but I'm in one piece. Thanks. Missy, Say, we're alright. Mm, that's a relief to hear. That's it, right? Huh? Zero is gone. The game is over. We're done here, aren't we? Let's get the hell out of here. Hang on. Sure, he's gone, but there's many more unanswered questions. First of all, he said we're on a ship. Even if we get out, we're still stuck, drifting out on the sea. If there was an unholy testing chamber below us in this entire time, it's within the reason that there's a helm hidden somewhere as well. Gia, was it? I mean, he said you were responsible for such a thing. Is that true? Gia sighed. I'll answer your questions in due time. For now, I would ask that you all rest for a spell before coming down to the testing chambers. It's been a long few days for you all. What, and let you jump the ship through a concealed exit passageway? While our guards are down. No way. Laylee, I understand your desire to push forward, but a break would allow us to sort our thoughts. Please, I'm not going anywhere. I'll await your arrival. Gia's hologram clips out as the rest of us shuffle idly. Laley huffs and shrugs as he made his way to the elevator. Look at that. I mean, it looks like that was the end. There was no more vote, no execution, just the end. Although destruction provided some relief, it was still uneasy. There was still so much uncertainty that was lurking before us. I sighed. I have no idea what's happening. The rest of us followed Laylee into the elevator, and together we returned to the foyer. Us remaining five students left the trial grounds in the shadows for good. Honestly, I was not expecting that for the five survivors. Guys, we're basically done the game. Ellison unfamiliar. Lily, Missy, Cannon, Say, and myself. Only five of us remained. Our group cut brutally in half by the game. In that very same order, we trudged out of the elevator and returned to the foyer. I'm going ahead. Don't wait up. I want answers. Gia, hang on, Lele. I want to talk to her first alone. Why? I just need to know why she gave me a talent. She could have known. I mean, she could know something like that. I mean, she should know something like that. Something I'm not even aware of. Why me? Please, I need to know what's going on. Alright. But being an ultimate student isn't all it's talked up to be. It's a world of misfortune. I know. Laylee shuffled off towards the foyer's door's entryway. The rest of the students stood by as well. It seemed no one else was quite ready to go down. I wondered if what was going through everyone's minds right now. So the game is over. We can only assume Gia probably knows more about the situation, though. It gives me peace of mind to learn that none of us would perpetuate the mutual killing game. That said, she let out a wavering sigh. Even my even my fortitude has limits. You say no one else would reactivate it, but they tried to further the game, didn't she? She went as far as to hurt you. Would you believe me if I said I didn't feel malice in her actions? Huh? Fear is fierceless power tool. I mean, as a fiercely powerful tool that shakes us out of our most rational thought. The threat of life strikes the heart. Any criminal existence, doesn't it? Chalk it up to knee-jerk reaction. Opposes potentially dangerous questions that cause state to react sporadically. I cannot pronounce half of these words. Remember, she did have the dagger for a period of time before entering the trial. She could have taken any open opportunity and if she were driven in malice. An odd move, but it was her move nonetheless. And my move will be to forgive her. What move is next for us, do you think? Missy pondered the question for a moment. No idea. We will reach land, presumably with Gia's assistance. And once we're there, a myriad of options are laid before us. Do we rejoin family? Do we make moves to seek out the preservation group? Do we attempt to find the next kin for those who died? Find the next kin for those who died during this game? The future is uncertain. Yeah, we start small. We know we're going. We'll know where to go next, though. Let's focus our energy on escaping first. I couldn't have said it better myself. Cannon, are you okay? I don't know. Cannon bit her nail, a sullen expression taking over. Maybe it's guilt or something, but something in me wishes I did actually kill Fort. Why? I don't want to sit with this feeling, this melancholy I'm feeling right now. I always told myself that I was just a spectator. Whenever I took photos, it was just easier to detach myself from the emotion of the subject. There's something more tolerable in seeing someone else's experience, what is occurring in the photo. But it was thanks to you that we found the answer in those awful trials. I guess. If you didn't actually want to kill him with that gunshot either. You didn't actually want to kill him with that gunshot either, so there's no reason to feel guilty. It's not that simple. I know, but you shouldn't wallow in those what-if feelings. It's too painful to just bottle it up. You helped us out a lot, really. I suppose, but but I never wanted to get involved. I never got the opportunity to do so before all this. I wanted to apologize properly after I turned your photo down. Don't worry about it. In fact, just forget it. I didn't particularly like the photo anyways. No, I shouldn't have been so harsh. I shuffled my hands in my coat. Somehow I found the torn photos in my pocket. I lined the two halves together. Here, you should keep it. I know you weren't really close with anyone, but I just hope you know we still think of you as a friend. Cannon carefully took the two pieces from me and sighed. Thanks. Let's get out of here alive. We love Cannon. Say, are you okay? Hi. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. I don't know anyone. I didn't know anyone cared. The only answer I could see was to have it all come to an end once and for all. If we died, then we wouldn't have to suffer anymore. It would be an easy way out, but through that suffering, we'll find things to live for as well. I'm sorry again. You don't have to be sorry. I understand it must be frightening to be alone. I'm right here with you. But we're all alone now. You have me, Laylee, Missy, and Cannon. They turned to me with a gentle smile. I returned the small gesture. We'll be okay. We'll make it out of here soon enough. It's strange. When you say we'll be okay, it feels like it could be true. But what comes next? I don't know. I want to see Ashley's father. I think I have a responsibility to tell him what happened to her. And after that, I sighed. Well, one thing at a time. Let's just put it all. Let's just try to put all of this behind us for now and focus on escaping. Say nodded. Thank you, Echo. Thanks for what? You, you don't have to, but you cared about everyone. I can see why Ashley wanted to protect you so much. Yeah. Are you going or what? Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I believe Gia will be willing to talk, if that's what you're worried about. She has been isolated in the testing chambers for what I imagine must have been a long time. Yeah, but do you think this all could have been avoided? There's no use dwelling on that now. What's done is done. We should push forward. Burden on our shoulders. Congratulations. The rest of the class has been eliminated thanks to your tireless efforts. So I did it, eh? Yes, Zero, you've won the ultimate prize. But may I ask something? Why did you use an Alice? Isn't it obvious? The game is all about distrust, a fake name to stir up trouble, of course. It was too easy. I see. But utilizing that distrust, you've earned yourself the final prize, Zero. Or rather, Akio Quartz, the ultimate radio host. I did it. The prize is yours. You rightfully won your place and will now join your friend in the winner's circle. You have become one of them. Huh? You have become the ultimate prize. Hold on, what are you talking about? Join her. That's Gia. This is where she's been? She's been with us, benefiting the world. That can't be right. And you'll become another a prized ultimate student alongside her. No, no, no. Hey, Gia. Oh, hello, Echo. I drifted into the testing chamber, spotted Gia hovering over one of the capsules, and took misery darkened her face. Are you okay? Gia sniffed as she stared at the capsule containing Akio's body. It was impossible to tell if he was breathing, let alone alive. I'll be fine, I was just recalling something. Where are the others? Oh, they're upstairs. I wanted to talk to you alone. Gia remained silent, awaiting my next sentence. I didn't know where to start. She noticed my hesitant and left her place in front of the castle. She gestured for me to sit at the workstation chair, and she paced slowly in front of me. You must have a lot of questions. But first, I'll spare you my moment to I'll spare you, and if you'll spare me a moment to share my story. I nodded. I was curious about what possibly led to her to this place. Preservation Project's killing game. I know the Endeavor created the ultimate prize. The stress is to be expected one day. The roster was always specifically curated to create pairs, testing the bonds between people. The crux of the game relies on broken bonds, applying pressure to motivation to spark the fire. From there, everyone following will stoke the flames and catalyze. But seeing so many of you survive despite the remaining time, I wonder what went different. Nonetheless, I must say I'm pleased with the results. I realize it must be difficult to find hope in things. The darkest time in the darkest times, especially is when our minds wander, through led astray, distorted by fear. As a cartographer, I create maps of the places on the earth that are far greater than my own being. The vast plains, the pulsing sea, the churning and the tunneling caves. To search somewhere in the greater picture for an ultimate good beyond my um, perceived world of existence is difficult. I realize Pandora and I are very different. She searched for individuals as I searched the world. However, we are looking to spark and inspire the same thing hope. Despair will control your lives if you let the fear. and darkness in your heart run amok. If you allow those inklings to escape, thoughts of terror will command the reins. How are we? I mean, how are we to combat such intuitions? Well, answering may vary wildly. Nevertheless, there are strategies in resistance. So I must admit something. The very thing that might be plaguing your concerns, your ultimate talent, the ultimate memory, I fabricated it in an attempt to foil Zero's preconceptions of the game's participants. My eyes widened. I had no words. The notion of an intangible talent like that was meant to play a part of a placebo in your mind. A talent Zero couldn't test the abilities of, one only you could measure. I had hoped it would give you some peace of mind that your worries what with your worries of not belonging, but memory, not exactly. To give a technical term, you had a talent of pertaining to memory. You would have been properly deemed the ultimate menemist. However, you gave to give a second title would prompt Zero to test it. I would not allow it. What kind of test would he have given? The most immediately testing would be a spread of cards. You are given a deck of a shuffle of cards, and you would recall back all 52 in the exact order of fast as possible. I, if you were an ultimate student, the fact that you have been quickly dashed or proven with a simple test, and my counterattack against Zero would have failed. What? That said, you're purposely not non-specific in bestowing the ultimate memory upon you. I had hopes it would Galwith Cyrus' falsified talent of charisma. It was an interesting decision he made with that one. Wait, although he had been speaking, I felt breathless. So I was just a tool. I felt a stone drop in my stomach. No, a tool is far cry from what I would call you. You exhibited a strength I did not expect, which was the ability to see through Zero's ploy. Strength? And more importantly, you saved your fellow students. You are a wild card, or perhaps or perhaps you do intend to wield a special ability. Your when you maintained your constitution even under immense pressure and stress. Stop. Gia was shocked into silence by my outburst. Gia, I understand that you must have been put through a lot. I really do. But to manipulate us, around this game as pawns, isn't that too cruel? Isn't that action in itself becoming just as bad as the people who trapped you here in the first place, utilizing ultimate students as as a means to an end? You are a product of their test. You should know better than anyone to toy with people's lives. Gia clutched her hands together as her eyes filled into the gazed state. I could see her straining to adjust her thoughts. She blinked slowly, her gaze met mine only once. I apologize. Putting you all through this, it wasn't meant to happen. It's true, I failed to cultivate the hope required to withstand pressures from the killing game. I failed Aki in the end. It's not that, I think you need to take a step back. People aren't just instruments to be molded for use. As far as I've seen, everyone here, ultimate students, notwithstanding, has the potential to inspire hope. But we won't get anywhere by recklessly putting strings, nor will we get any results by forcing a result. Gia was silent and unmoving, as she were holding her breath. I'm sorry. I never understood Pandora's methods, but I think I see now what she was doing. Her ways of inspiring hope would start small and would crescendo and grow into something powerful. Why did I not see it until now? It's too late to mourn the past. Perhaps some things are just meant to happen. All I can do is take small steps toward the future, each moment after. Gia sighed and nodded. She fell silent once again. Her expression was tight. Her head wilted, heavy with regret. I returned upstairs to give Gia some time. After a moment, I ushered the others down to the testing chambers. When I came back, Gia was at the back of the workstation, focused on the monitors once more. Misty and Sei lingered through the testing chambers, anxiously looking at the containment units and monitors. Sei stiffened up at Akihiko's unit, but instead of reacting in any way, she remained unmoving. Zero said we're on a ship, yeah. So where's the bridge? Let's dock and get the hell out once and for all. If we're on a ship, wouldn't the bridge be near the trial grounds? Zero did say that the trial grounds was within a superstructure. HMSC HMSC Apothecarium is much larger than you've seen. The collection of rooms you were privy of was only within the quarter deck. There are a number of bridges scattered across the bridge, as there are other rooms. I don't care about the other rooms. Just tell us where the navigation station, command center, no, control room, whatever it is, then. We have to steer this thing toward land so we don't die at sea. Zero said you got us into this mess, so you better help us get it out. Gia was quiet. She had an apprehensive look in her eyes, but she remained typing at the workstation. That is, will you help us, right? Despite what she had gone through, Gia's intentions were difficult to read. I couldn't tell whether or not she wanted to escape. Gia's directed our attention to several monitors and pulled up several images of. I can't see things on the monitor. What are you showing us? What is that? Looks like some sort of squid. Well, that only, I mean, well, that only makes sense. We're sailing on the sea. Yeah, but we can't see anything outside. A feeling of a dread froze my blood as I gazed at the near blank screens. There's no clear view outside because we are at the bottom of the sea. Oh my god, the ship sank. What? I secreted the ship. I did what I believed would be the most beneficial thing for all of us trapped here. That can't be. The Altarium and the Trial Grounds have both revealed the changing sky to us throughout the day. Simple glass projections. The ship is equipped with wedging edge technology. It should come to no surprise, seeing as the engineer is also an ultimate student. And how exactly do you think sinking us was going to help? What were you really planning? To bring us to our deaths at the bottom of the sea? We've been fooled again. It's nothing like that. This is how I prevented another group of students from falling into the hands of the Preservation Project experiment. Yeah, tell us. What is the Preservation Project? I gulped. Even after all this time, I wasn't sure if I wanted to truly heard what the Preservation Project was. The Preservation Project, It's a group that provokes safe housing for ultimate students, protecting them from whatever could endanger them from utilizing their talents poorly. That's what it is. Between the whispers between the ultimate students outside these walls. However, the truth of the matter is that everything you previously knew about the project is smoke and mirrors. The project activities, the safe house, the earthquakes themselves, is a front of the project's true intention to create the ultimate student. Something of this magnitude magnitude and effect would obviously require immense resources. The people responsible for taking art under their wing lobbied for the resources necessary to pull this off. The powers that fabricated the scenario are the product of the ultimate students just like ourselves. How is that possible? Through manipulation. With the correct seeds implanted, one known as an ultimate Passonic was able to cause distress, pushing students toward the project's so-called safe house. The reach of their ability required two keys, something visual and something auditory. One of these seeds must have been the latter we all received. They were distinct water. There were distinct watermark at the bottom of the letters. It must have been, that must have been the visual key, and the auditory key must have been Aki's voice casting the project information out. Therefore, the reason Echo wasn't aware of any of this was because they never experienced exposure to either of the two keys. I was speechless. So it was a mistake that I got included in this group at all. But after being here to help everyone, it would be cruel to call this a mistake. Laylee and Missy took time with Gia to survey the setting we found ourselves in. The ship HMS Apath I'm not gonna even try to pronounce that, was constructed with the vision of housing ultimate talent students and swaths of great comfort. The preservation project acquired it soon after its conception, and the location was made for its experiment. The constantly moving location that would be difficult to reach by ordinary means. The conducts of the experiment were situated offshore to prevent loss of people in their own ranks. The game was to be remotely conducted with the proxy serving as the host. Zero occupied the service, offering himself to the side of despair after his own win. The combat their puppeteering, Gia stripped the group of their whereabouts by taking control of their main asset and casting it um, far beyond their reach. Our underwater demise sat 3,000 meters beneath the pulsing ice of the North Atlantic Ocean, and the closest land was the shore of Greenland. The situation felt bleak, but Gia reassured us that somehow she had prepared for this. She ideally wished that she would be able to save everyone, regardless. 5 survivors was a victory still in her eyes. Gia unrelentingly searched through the testing chambers database, revealed little about the preservation project. She was frustrated but determined still. Though she was a winner, there had been others that had been removed from the testing chambers due to poor health or experimentation over ex, experimentation experimentation overextension. Even among even among the array of winners, she had little company. The 6 of us were steeped in Gia. The 6 of us were steeped in thought as Gia continued to employ herself in search for knowledge. But it seemed that nothing damningly confident was saved on location. Sigh, we should leave. There's nothing more I can do here. I wish to attack the land site and other subsequent lurking agents. I nodded. Lately managed to stray patient this long and readied himself in anticipation to aid in a proper escape. As he returned again after a short visit to retrieve the personal files Cyrus had, Cannon was still as ever. We stood to exit the testing chambers, but Say remained lost in thought. What about him? It was clear she didn't know how to address her lost friend's turned despair vessel. Gaia paused, her eyes heavy, cast a dark downward gaze. There's no denying it, it's Zero. Aki is no longer with us. Her voice was stern. Gia startled down at the floor without a blink into her step. Wait, what is it? We ought to board the escape pod and make a hasty retreat. It was unwise to stay longer than we needed to. I know, but don't you feel sad? After all, you're the one who had to stop him. It was my decision. I can no longer take back my actions, can I? I suppose not, but it was my choice. But what choice did I have? And there are far greater concerns that need to be addressed. I can't burden by such feelings. Not when there's so much to be done. Gia, I know you want to push forward, but why not take a step back to let yourself feel those feelings? I mean, you don't seem like the kind to wallow in emotion, but it would be good to acknowledge the fact that you were trapped here without help. And now you can help. I mean, now you can help. Now we can help you, or at least want to. I myself must atone for my mistakes. I can't stop just because I regret my actions. Her jaw clenched at those words, escaped through garnished teeth. Who was Akihiko? Gao's eyes softened and her shoulders fell back as she let out a hollow sigh, in a slow sigh. Just like the others we've lost, he was a friend, a piece of me now gone missing. There are parts of me, I mean, these parts of me have been carved out. The parts that Pandora called her sister, and the parts that Akihiko called his friend. Those pieces of me no longer exist. Death owns those memories. Her eyes glazed over in deep oblivion. Gia. It's a dreadful thing I forced you all into. No one was meant to bear these horrible experiences except me. You shouldn't have to fight through these feelings alone. My responsibility due to my failure. Shouldn't I be the sole recipient of such consequences? I would let despair destroy me first if it meant I were able to command its damage singularly and none to one and none other. Gia, all your efforts would be meaningless if you let yourself be killed before making any change. Indeed, such a loss would be absurd if you didn't make a significant move to stop the project that apprehended you so. And well, I don't know what it means to you, but you still have this. Say, produce a small golden disc. So don't let despair consume you yet. We're depending on you. Just as you can depend on us. The room was still. I could hear the blood pumping in my ears as Gia pounded her purpose. Of course. Whatever. I don't speak French. Leaving the testing chambers, Gia led us to the elevator. Similarly to the infirmary, the opposite side of the elevator cab doors opened to the reveal a long dark hallway. The six of us trudged through the industrial hallway and in hushed conversation. Gia led the way out. I followed close, and everyone else was bunched together behind me, as if they were still unsure whether Gia was trustworthy or not. Gia, I have to know something. Why did you nurse Ashley back to health just before her execution? You had to know that she was the culprit, right? I didn't wish to leave you two on poor terms. What? I observed, if I recall correctly, that you and Ashley were on little speaking terms just before she went to confront Cyrus. Yeah, but it was clear to me that Ashley was powerfully driven, but nothing would stop her when when she set her mind to something. That something in that case is putting your well-being above her own. Why she did that? Of course, I cannot say. You ought to know better than I. I do. To soften the blow, inevitably, I tried in all earnest, to bring her back, to see a familiar face one more time. The hallway seemed to stretch forever. Echo. Hmm? You're quite brave. Brave? In these past days, you stood tall against the face of so much anguish. What are you talking about? I'm not brave. I'm just trying to fend off these awful feelings. I can't stop thinking about what Ashley did for me. Would it not be easier to cast away the memories of those past? Forgetting what happened here would be depriving them of their last memory. I let out a pathetic scoff. Isn't it weaker to cling to an outcome that we can't change anymore? I wouldn't go that far. The fact remains, Pandora was inspired. She was something special. and she saw something special about you. Is that so? Like a candle, a small flame creates a vigilant of salvation to cut through darkness, all white steadily burning their wax bodies away. That said, the next torch awaits even the slightest bit of fire. We turned the corner and we were met with a hatched door. I climbed into the escape pod. Fart! Pandora! Say! Cannon! Fort! Fort was robbed. Cyrus! Lily! Missy! Ashley! Akihiko! Gia! Echo! God. That was a really good game, guys. We finished the game. Is there anything else to it? Oh, fading. Is there nothing else to this? Oh, the lower drone of the ocean watering, rolling against the outer walls, filled the escape capsule, causing our small group to fall silent and tense. How long has it been? 44 minutes? It felt like an eternity had passed. Sam made inquisitive murmur as she relayed the time, gazing at one of her wristwatch. She stimulously caught a glimpse at the killing game bracelet. I mean, I turned the chain around and noticed mine was the same. Rather than to reflect the previous full glows, our bracelets had turned a hue of pure, bright yellow gold. It seemed to know victory from the game. No one saw any desire to make small talk during our resurfacing, as if conversation would distract from our escape. Exhaustion hung on everyone's face. Apprehensive eyes cast a dark shadow across the metal interior. Masila sharp gasp. Hey, are you okay? Everyone alert as Missy began to shake, her breathing broken. She looked like she was in pain. Oh no. Oh no, what's going on? Everyone looked as as they started to react similarly. My head, it's killing. No, please, no. What's going on? Not this again. I was horrified. Everyone was suffering right before my eyes. As soon as their pain began, they all fell still. No, no way. I grabbed Cannon by the shoulders and shook her firmly. I heard small breaths escape. I looked at the others as they see. Unfortunately, they're still breathing. They're okay. This is the doing of the ultimate Sonic. Their advised reaction mirrors the events that took place when they were captured in the first place. We've been trapped. Huh? How? Not sure. The Preservation Project must be pursuing their wrecked ship. Zero must have sent a radio signal to land site before I stopped him. But how are you all right? They must assume I'm dead. A regrettable assumption for them. I was speechless. Just when I thought it was over, a new complication threw itself before our escape. And me? Gia looked at me with a raised eyebrow. She was surprised. You're lucky. Ken, Lily, and Missy were still in unresponsive state. It seemed like they were rendered unconscious. So what now? There's nothing we can do to stop whoever is awaiting our arrival from discovering us. We're going to have to resurface and see what happens from there. Prepare yourself. Prepare myself? Be ready for whatever happens. Do not idle. When we're discovered, it's inevitable. The best thing we can do is be prepared. I nodded. It's true. We were going to be helpless to take action until we got out of the escape pod. I studied my breathing and closed my eyes. We're still going. This is still going. I let the sound of the rolling water fill my thoughts. And I racked my brain trying to think about that evening. No, don't make me cry again. Please, I beg of you. Alright, thanks for the lift. And be careful with your ankle. I can't believe you insisted on driving even though it's broken. It's no problem at all. Besides, my ankle's almost done healing, so it's no big deal. It's not like I drive with that foot anyway. I was worried since I can't walk you to the door. I wanted to see if Applejack was in a petting mood tonight. My horse is right there. You don't need to worry. And if she is, I'll make sure to give that kitty a good scratching for you. Alright, thanks. Night, Ash. Good night, Echo. Her porch light hasn't turned on. She usually turns it on for a minute, so I know she made it in, but I should get out to see what's going on. Ow. Click. Oh, there it is. Well, it's time to get back. Westburg Stables. Hello, sir. It's Echo. I was just calling to see if Ashley got in okay. I couldn't reach her cell. Hello, Echo. Well, she's just fine. I believe she's busy with a small matter at the moment, but nothing to worry about. Oh, can I ask what's wrong? Nothing is wrong. Nothing at all. In fact, it's all very good news. She was approached by a gentleman who is responding to an inquiry in regards to her horseback riding. It's a fantastic opportunity, that one I wasn't aware she signed herself up for such a prestigious thing. I'm told that pro golfer Capicano fellow is going to be there. I see. That's great to hear. I'm absolutely chuffed. My girl's off to do great things, I'll tell you. It's a winding process, as I'm told. It'll be a while yet before she'll be able to spare the time. I see. Please wish her luck for me. I'll have to give her a call back when she's free to hear all about it. Will do. She'll be over the moon talking your ear off when all the formalities have been taken care of. And Echo? Hmm? I'm happy Ashley has a friend like you. Thank you for taking care of her. No problem, it's the least I could do. Thanks for playing. And that's Danganronpa Lapse. Okay, that was a really fun fan game. Um, really enjoyed it actually. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Um, I hope you guys did too. And yeah. Um, I'll figure out what game I want to do next, and I'll see you guys on the next playthrough. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Um, if I could change anything about the game, I think I would switch out Say for Pandora. Maybe. I feel like that could have been interesting, but I don't know. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. So have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next playthrough. Bye!